What's up, y'all?
Bueno.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Trying to make a post, y'all. I apologize.
What's up? What's up? Make your post.
We are live.
We are live. Come on in. Come on in.
Hit the link.
Y'all can jam with me. I've been jamming all day. I said what I said. You saw my short today. I've been jamming all day. Come on. Come on, jam with me. Come on. It's Friday. Come on, I said what I said. Ride with Go with Joe. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Come on.
Hey. What she say? I'm traveling. Oh, don't worry. Safe travels. Safe travels.
Shout out to Nightbot. Shout out to Twin B.
Oh, she working. He working.
Shout out.
Nightbot be on his job. He better than any referral you could ever give.
Y'all coming on in while sis is making her post. I made a post already though. If that's what you're doing.
On the tap in?
Yep.
Thank God. Okay.
I said we are.
I had to do one on It's Just ETV.
Oh, you did one on It's Just TV?
It's Just ETV. Okay.
Come on, I said what I said. I've been dancing all day. Come on. We insist on a competition with music, y'all. We got competition with music.
We do.
I think I'm winning.
I think you not. I think
I'm
you more, you just a little you got a different genre.
I have different genres.
You have a different genre. I'm not of that genre.
We be jamming. We be jamming.
I ain't finished though.
I'm whooping her butt, y'all.
Nah, you too, you too smooth. I ain't going
because I'm smooth like that.
Impact.
Because I'm smooth like that. I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that.
Hey, everyone. Come
What's
on
up,
in,
y'all?
Come on in. I sound like, what's his name? What is his name?
Yeah, forearm it.
I know. Are you loving on yourself?
A little bit.
Are you admiring your own body?
I was just looking at
Are you admiring your own body, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to be clear. You out here admiring your own dang body.
Yes.
You humble bragging all on yourself.
Oh, shit.
You hear it? Humble bragging all on himself.
Look here.
Hey, y'all.
I am your host, the one and only SBK. And to my right is my beautiful sister.
It is I. It is me. It is she. It's just E from It's Just ETV.
One more time. One more time.
It is I. It is me. It is she. It's just E from It's Just ETV. Hurry.
I have my own way of introducing her. And this is how it goes. It's just TV. It's just TV.
Oh my God.
This is how I introduce her. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's just TV. It's just TV.
Say that every time. Every time we talk, yes, he does do that.
It's just TV. It's just TV.
You got issues. You got issues for real.
I know.
For real. For real.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all
I'm
good.
sorry.
You
Welcome to
better.
I know we all have issues. Welcome to your Tap In podcast. The dynamic duel is back in the house. The greatest 1-2 punch on YouTube. We are the very best.
The very best
duo on YouTube. I said it.
He said it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do this. It's just ETV and myself. We are very tired. In fact, before we shout out to chat, I said what I said was on last night. Sis, I was listening. She was on last night. Y'all go sub up to I said what I said. She was up late last night, and I was working while listening to her, and so I didn't get off this morning until about 4 or 5 this morning. So 5. 05. 05 this morning. So we are running on fumes, but we're gonna do this. This is the highlight of our week.
Yes, it is.
Talking about this. You know what I'm saying? Talking about what we got to talk about. So you want me to salute the chat, or you got it? You want me to do it?
You can do it. You do it the best.
Okay. I got you. We got the young drip king himself, young Riaz. Salute to you.
Riaz.
And you heard what the bestie said. Like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to the bestie. Thrive and Glow Show. Shout out to our day one, our attorney, Kevin Corporate. We have the beautiful I Said What I Said. She's in the building. Y'all go subscribe up to I Said What I Said.
Yes.
Great channel. Y'all go subscribe. If we have any mods that are modded up, a lot of our mods are traveling. Joe's traveling too on this Mother's Day, and going to visit her mother down South Texas. So, but if any mods put I Said What I Said link in the chat, and we will be greatly appreciated. We have the lovely Gisela. Hey, love.
Hey.
How you doing? We have Get It Together Wellness. How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Thank you. Y'all hit that like button as you come through. All right. Don't forget, it is free $99. Free $99. Y'all go and hit that like button. It is free $99. And we have Nightbot in full effect, and we're gonna be giving away some things.
We're
giving away some things. So you guys better stay tuned. We are giving away some things. So y'all better stay tuned. Bushes. Salute Bush. All you Bush watchers, all you haters out there. You know what I'm saying? I have to say this every week. All you haters out there, all you ghost watchers, we see you. We know we know that you're in the bushes, but it's all good. Without you haters, there wouldn't be any of us online right now. So all you haters, all you Bush watchers, come out of the bushes.
Come out the bushes. Is there anyone in the bushes or in the chat? It is currently Taurus season. Happy birthday. It is currently Taurus season. Hey. I sound like what is his name that always say things 3 times? What's my boy?
Whatchamacallit?
What is his name?
Gifts. Donations.
Yeah, donations.
I can't think of this.
I can't even think of him right now.
I've been listening to him all week.
The most requested scholar out here.
Yes. I can't even think of his freaking name. But hey, before we get started and we get all into the fun, I want everybody who's listening to me, who's listening, it was serious for serious few minutes, a few seconds, whatever. I want to send a shout out to the great T-Cat.
Yes.
Rosita Taylor. And I want to say we love you. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. T-Cat was in an accident today and broke her arm. Yeah. I'm actually, she's texting me right now. She finally got her phone charged up. So so you guys send out your prayers and your thoughts to her. We love you, T-Cat. Get well soon. I'm glad it was just your arm and nothing else serious. I know you're scared and everything. There she is, right? Look. She's in the chat.
How you gonna be in the chat?
How you gonna be in the chat? But look.
You all right?
I hope you're okay. I hope you don't mind me sending out prayers. We love you. Please get well soon.
Yes.
Y'all send out y'all's prayers and positive vibes to our family. T-Cat, we love you. You know what I'm saying? You know,
we need you to take care of yourself.
So
take one of them oxycodones.
For real. I didn't want to call
muscle relaxers and ease on out.
For real. I didn't want to call you. Your first instinct when you hear that someone's been in an accident and you know that they're all right and you know what they're facing, you want to call them. But being in a situation like that, you know, before, you know what I mean, you have to let people get their rest and so forth and so on. And so I just want to say we love you and y'all keep her in your prayers.
Yes.
Speedy recovery. We love you. I reached out to Joe. I reached out to Sis over here. And so we got you lifted up. You know what I mean? So
in the name of Jesus.
Yes. So T-Cat, you're gonna pull through this and you're going to be better and you're gonna be back and better than ever. So y'all shout out to her.
Shout out. That bionic arm.
Yeah.
Gonna be able to make thumbnails super quick.
So yeah, man.
Bionic.
Y'all keep her in your thoughts and in her prayers. Right? In your prayers, all right? So, but
what do I have? Okay, here we go.
All right, you getting that what's called ready?
I'm trying to let people know we live. I gotta use an old commercial.
Oh, you gotta use commercial. But I want to let everybody know that I am your host, SBK again. And over here is
It's Just TV. It's Just TV.
You got issues right now. I can't with you right now. I really can't.
Just so y'all know who this is.
It's Just TV. It's Just TV.
Just so you know, that's who that is over there.
That's who it is.
Jimbo is in the building. What's up with it, bro? My other little bro, Two Sick Gorilla. Salute
Gorilla. Hold on.
Salute to my two brothers, man. So y'all hit the like button as you come in, and we're gonna crank this thing up as soon as Sis gets her shit together.
Hey.
But y'all,
watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
We got a wonderful show for you. You got the poll up already?
Of course I do, because I'm good like that.
She good like that. She said she's good like that. She good like that. She good like that.
Good like that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already, look at the poll, and I want you to vote. I want you to vote. Look at the poll. I want you to vote. All right. And I'm going to read the poll. Right. I'm going to read the poll to you. All right. And we're going to. Oh shit! We can't get to it. What the hell? I'm trying to read it. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to get to it, y'all. I'm trying to get to it, y'all. Yeah, I'm trying.
You can't read.
I can't read, y'all. There we go. All right, here we go.
Oh, shoot.
Here is the poll. I'm going to read it to you. You guys need to go ahead and vote. I have not voted yet because I want to vote in front of you guys. All right, so let me read it to you. It says, we're going to have more polls, by the way. And by the way, we're giving away prizes tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Nightbot is working. Nightbot is
working.
Watching. And he's paying attention. So you guys stay. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stay in the chat.
Stay in the chat.
All right. You going to sleep?
Nightbot knows when you ain't in the chat.
Keep us posted, love. Keep us posted, all right? We love you. She says
we love you, T-Cap. Good night, Pillow Princess.
We want you to be a pillow princess, for real. Get your rest. And I'll be hollering at you later. All right. So, all right, here we go. And the poll says, which of these do you believe about emotional men? The question is, again, which of these do you believe about emotional men? All right. The first one is, a man who cries is still strong. The second one, a man should only cry over death. The third one, men who are too emotional are weird. And the last one, I want emotional honesty, but not. So the question again, which of these do you believe about emotional men? About emotional men. Which of these do you believe? I want you guys to vote right now. All right. A man who cries is still strong. A man should only cry over death. Men who are too emotional are weird. Or the last one, I want emotional honesty, but nah. I want emotional honesty, but nah, not too emotional. All right.
Go Watchers.
We got the lovely Hooray!
Who I miss? Here. Is that my Bay Area baby?
That's it.
Okay. I was like,
hooray! So I want you guys to vote now, and I'm going to put in my vote. And woo, the vote that I had is pretty popular. I'm gonna say that. Say it there. Okay. So we're gonna get into this, man. Which one do you think is the correct answer? And I want you guys to go and correct. Now, listen. We're talking about emotion. It's funny that we're talking about this because honestly, those of you who are listening, I've been ghost watching a lot of chats. I've been involved I hopped on some panels this week, today actually. These questions that we have, we already had these planned. It just so happened that conversations were had in different chats, and so I had to hop on. I know Sis has been working all day today. I was working out. Well, actually, I worked last night, but I've been busy all day. So I had the opportunity to hop on some chats. I want to say shout out to Von's Reality. Shout out to I Said What I Said. I Said What I Said. Urban Lounge Podcast. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to all you guys. But I hopped up on Von's panel today, and I want you guys to first. Vons, if you're listening, I'm going to use a portion of your. And this is not. This is just for learning purposes. This is not bash anyone, but I really like people's perspectives. I love different people's perspectives because if one person has that perspective, then you'll be amazed how many more people have that perspective, right? And we can learn from each other. So, sis, before I get into, you got anything you want to say before I've been running my mouth?
Ghost Watchers, come on down here into this chat and hit this survey. I'm gonna say it all the time. is free 99. Number 1. Number 2, it's anonymous. We do not know who is taking the poll. No, do we care who is taking the poll? We just want to get the survey accomplished.
Facts.
So, Ghost Watchers.
Ghost Watchers.
Bring that ass on down.
Bring that ass.
Survey.
Bring that ass.
And vote.
And vote. One man.
We want to hear from y'all too.
We don't know who you are.
Scared to hit the chat don't mean nothing. You can still participate.
Facts.
Participate. Facts. You like my Callie? You like this Callie?
Hey, what's the shirt? Hey, y'all see what she's representing? The red. She's gonna be.
Yeah, we ain't gonna say too much about that, but I am representing Cap.
But what's your shirt say? What's your shirt say, sis? What's your shirt say?
Oh shit.
It says, God don't play about me.
Don't play about me.
And she got Callie. Callie. Representing. And I'm representing red. And I'm just representing, I'm just representing red. And if in case you guys didn't know who is over here to my right,
it's Just TV. It's Just TV.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
But anyway,
it's
gonna be a long night. But anyway, but listen, I'm going to just ask who wants to smoke. If you're ready to step up and drop, don't be scared. Exactly.
She wants to smoke.
She wants to smoke.
Hey.
We'll drop that link in a minute. You know what I mean? We'll drop the link in a minute. But check this out. I want to say shout out to Von's Reality, a wonderful content creator, young lady that I'm very proud of. You guys go and sub up to her. You know what? All the mods, if you're in the chat, please put Von's link in the chat. Another wonderful content creator. I said what I said. Wonderful content creator. Very intelligent lady. I love being in chats and listening to different perspectives. You might not agree. A lot of times people don't agree, but she's just a very intelligent lady. It's good to see content creators, man, that just have some substance. You know what I'm saying? And I like, especially women. I love women that are passionate about what they say. They mean what they say, man. That's what we need, man. That's what we need. And so, but I was on a panel today, and I wanted to use Von's portion of Von's live that she did, and the question was about men being emotional. I spoke of this subject when I had all women's panel 2 weeks ago. Wonderful panel. Y'all go check it out if you haven't checked it out. But this is a subject right here, sis, that you could talk about for a long time. I mean, you just can't talk about it in one session. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, I'm gonna quit japping my jaws, and I'm going to share the screen, and I got this video queued up, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you guys listen to this, a portion of this, and this is Von's chat. Y'all go and check her out. Put her link in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. And this is Von's and talking, her and Urban. I get up on a panel later on, but I want you guys to listen to this exchange here, and then we'll go about it. All right, here we go.
Shoot, if y'all at work, if you're dealing with a boss that made you mad or a coworker made you mad, you sit up here and go through a whole rant, a tangent, coming to us and venting to us. That bitch, blah 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 blah.
But we're not crying though.
And we'll sit up here and listen. Some of y'all be emotional about it and be crying. Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all do. But we allow you to have that space, and that's all I'm saying.
Mr. Lounge, that's different versus
no, it's not.
Being overstimulated. You got a lot going on, then you bust out in tears, and he like, well, hold on, baby, what's wrong? That's different. You don't do that with no man.
That is not different. That is no different, Vance. What are you talking about?
I need therapy. Y'all. I'm sorry. No.
We need to put Jesus on the main line for real, man.
Because what's not gonna happen is you're not gonna be sitting here telling me about your day and maybe I'm just tired. I got a lot going on. I'm gonna be like, what the hell? You need to go see a therapist. That's the first thing gonna come. Because you shouldn't just be feeling like that as no man.
That man should not have to go see a therapist when he got you. You are his therapist. What are you talking about?
No, man. Look, y'all can. I don't care what y'all say in this chat. Vaughn is not finna hold no grown man and say it's okay. I'm gonna run you a bath and that's gay. You're supposed to be able to take something. You got to be able to take something now. Okay, you can't go be emotional. I can't handle it. I'm not gonna know what I am gonna look at you funny. Somebody messing with your butt or something. Something's not right. What is you going through? Okay, yeah, you need to go see. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't. No. And if my son's girlfriend comes telling me my sons is crying, I'm gonna be like, I didn't raise them like that. I don't know where they got that from. Okay. I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna let her know. And then I'm gonna get, boy, you supposed to come talk to me. You ain't supposed to let no woman see you cry like that. She's talking about you to me. She's telling me that you at home crying. What you going through?
This is the reason why I say on my show all the time that it's very important for you to vet out that person before you be in a relationship with them. You need to know exactly where their mind is at. And you need to be having these conversations for real and see how they feel about it. If they respond the same exact way, fellas, they respond the same exact way. Oh, you're crying? Oh man, that's gay. Then you already know you don't need to be with that woman, period.
You absolutely right. You should not be crying to no woman like no little child, like somebody that did something to you. Nobody, no, that's not, Mr. Miles, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. If ain't nobody dead, ain't no baby's been born. If y'all not, at least let's say you having a screaming match and he got a couple tears because something. But you just, as no man, you should just not be. No, it don't even sound. See, this is why I'm with my husband and you with your wife. Because baby, no.
All right. So I played a portion of that. I hopped up on the panel. I said what I said, hopped up on the panel, but because I wanted clarification. Now, keep in mind now, and shout out to Vaughn's Reality. Please go sub up to her. And I meant that.
Yes.
Whenever she goes live, I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? She can talk. She can talk on the mic. She can hold an audience. She can hold your attention. Young lady that's really doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to her. Shout out to my boy Urban. You know what it is. Shout out to my boy Urban. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Urban.
So there it is. We talked about this. We talked about not last week, the week before last, at that all women's panel. I posed a question on basically can a woman let a man be a man? And not just, automatically people talk about submission and all that. No, man. There comes a time where a man sometimes has breaking points to where he has to vent. He has to talk. He might cry. Now, I have to be personal on this. I'm not one sis that has never I've never showed outward emotion. Only when I've lost a loved one, and that's it. You know what I mean? As far as crying, physically crying, over other things other than loss of life, especially, for example, my aunt that passed away 2 weeks ago. That really hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of men would have cried if they were in my position. When my daughter went to her first prom or junior prom, I didn't cry. I wanted somebody to cry for me all the damn money I spent. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I mean? I wasn't crying about that at all. Did a little rugrat. She went out and, partied with these little old ninjas. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't cry at all. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is I don't show emotion crying over whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just suck it up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm one of them ninjas that's, if I can handle it, get up for another day. Mm-hmm. You catch me crying, it's because I done lost someone dear to me or whatever. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. But with that being said, the floor is now yours.
Well, I wanted to hear what you had to say on the panel because I didn't get a chance to hear
the
whole situation.
Well, let me show you. Let me get
what
back.
You have to say?
I'm gonna show y'all what I had to say.
I'm trying to see what the chat's saying.
The chat is kind of baffled. My boy Jimbo says he disagrees, but we're gonna get into it. Hold on. I'll get into it right now.
I've seen before. Like I just haven't.
Can y'all hear?
Yep, we can hear it.
There's a lot going on, and I just need you to hold me. Like, did somebody die? Did your coworker die?
Not every man.
Did your boss die?
Not every man is going to be in that state every single day. That's the point I'm trying to make you. But there's going to be some type of circumstance where it's going to push him to that state, and whenever he be in that state, he should have in that emotional state. We don't want to tell them there are certain conditions that need to be met for us to accept that. We'll accept you right then and there.
Amen, Urban. Amen.
SBK, don't you come up here with that soft stuff. Don't come up here.
Soft stuff, boy, I tell you.
I'm just saying. Let me ask you. This is not a safe space. This is not.
Don't have me side-eyeing you, SBK.
I just have a question. We need to.
What's the question?
Okay, I have a question for you, ladies. Let's distinguish what's crying and what's venting. You know what I mean? So if a guy vents, if he's having a bad day, he can't vent to you. That's going to be labeled as crying. I mean, if a guy, wait.
But go ahead.
Let me land my plane. Let you guys stop. So obviously, venting equates crying to you guys. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on, let me finish. So, because if a man has a problem or is going through some issues throughout his day, we talked about this on our show. You ladies were on my show. You know what I'm saying? And I specifically asked you ladies, can a man be a man? Part of being a man is not just being strong. A man has issues too. Men have issues, but we're taught, as Urban was saying, we're taught to keep all that stuff in. We're taught to suck it up. But if we come home to you ladies and we got venting, you know what I'm saying? You mean tell me we can't vent too long without you guys saying, hey, I don't want to hear that no more. That's I don't want to say the GAY. That's yag. You're being too yag. You know what I mean? You're being too that's not managed for you to sit there and talk about your problems all the time. All right, I'll go on mute. I want y'all's answer on that.
Talking is different than venting. I mean, talking and venting, that's totally different than you sit there boo-hoo crying.
Totally different. If you're venting, that's okay. I don't see anything wrong with a man venting. Yeah,
I can
but if you
communicate with you, but you gonna
but
sit
like
there
I
and just
said,
cry about it.
Yeah, you. Okay, let's say it's like this. I'm tired of this and I'm tired of that, and it's gonna be like, whoa, huh? What's going on?
But that's venting. That's a part of venting. That's not crying.
What type of venting? What man vents like? I need to.
Okay, if your man comes home and tells you, look, babe, I'm tired of listening to, this certain person on the job, blah, 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 blah. And so that's crying. A man's not supposed to do that.
Nobody said that.
That's what Bonds just said. Urban, am I listening?
No.
That's exactly what she said. She listed two conditions.
What I said was,
that is emasculating your man.
While you are venting and you come to tears. Okay, now I'm gonna say this. If this is a one-time event, once again, this has never happened to me, right? So, okay, if this is a one-time event, we gonna discuss it, okay? But every single time you vent, you got tears, and I got to hold you every single time. As a man, you don't see nothing wrong with that. Well, you don't see nothing wrong.
Well, me personally, look, I'm talking about myself personally. Personally, I'm not a crier, man. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, SBK.
But hold on. I'm not no crier, but you know what I'm saying? There has been a few occasions I can count on my hand to where it's hit me to the point to where, loss of family, loss of, I've gone through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know my story, man. Y'all have gone through a lot. I ain't gonna go into all that. But what I'm saying is that, you guys are kind of blurring the lines between the crying and the venting. You know what I'm saying? Because every man can be strong and every woman can be strong. Let's just not just say men and women. Just specifically men and specifically women. There comes a point to where every woman and every man has a breaking point, and you need that somebody to, if you're gonna cry, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna make fun of dude if he look. That's the reason why there's a lot of, and Alice even said it in the chat. Miss Alice said in the chat, shout out to you, Miss Alice. That is the reason why there's a lot of mental issues and a lot of violence goes on in this country, because a lot of, and I'm just going to go ahead and be specific, a lot of our black men are taught to not share their emotions. And what are they going to revert to? Violence. You know what I'm saying? Violence, harming themselves. You know what I'm saying? Harming other people. So if I'm married to you, if you're my girlfriend, significant other, wherever you want to call it, or whatever, if I can't come home and talk to you, you know what I'm saying? And if I can't talk it out, you know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's a reoccurring issue or not, you know what I'm saying? If it's a reoccurring issue, then I would want that woman to help me. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't see nothing wrong with communication. I don't see nothing wrong with you venting about your day, but you can't come home and cry real tears about what happened to you on a regular basis with me, because I'm just gonna look at you different. I'm gonna like, okay, what's going on? I'm gonna think that you have some unresolved mental issues. But I can talk to you until the sun come up. You can vent until the sun.
All right. So there is a lot to unpack there. Again, I had fun, man. We need to, I wish we you know what, man, there's gonna be a group of us that are gonna have conversations like this, and we're hey man, if you're not coming with real content, man, then you need to log off. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a group of us, Tap In Podcast, It's Just ETV, myself, Thrive and Glow with Joe, Bonds. I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? 2 cents you cause it. 2 cents you cause it. We're coming. You know what I'm saying? So we're coming with real content. You know what I mean? All the rest of this BS or whatever, you know what I mean? Throw that to the side and come, Urban Lounge Podcast. Hey, man, we're coming with some real content. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, there's a lot to unpack. So my thing is, and I'll let you speak since you heard what I had to say. A lot of times the lines are blurred. And I felt like, and I'm not picking on Bonds. I'm not picking on Bonds at all. There are a lot of ladies that think like Bond and have way more radical ideas, more so than Bond, when it comes to men and emotion. All right. I don't want. I feel like I'm talking too much, but I said this on my panel. Sis, my mom was a tough woman. You know what I mean? Very tough. I've called you tough, sis. I've called Joe tough. You know what I mean? Y'all have cussed me out behind the scenes. Y'all have got into it with me. But the reason why I have tough skin like that, and I don't get into my emotions, and I'm not acting like a yag or whatever, is because my mom instilled in me at a very young age, you know, men, it's okay to have emotion, but men do not whine. Men do not complain. You can vent to me. You can tell me your problems, but then, bruh, get up, dust yourself off, and just handle it. You know what I mean? So, but every man has emotion. Every man needs someone to vent to. So I just don't want our ladies to equate venting with crying. Venting with crying. Coming home to your lady and talking about your problems, that shouldn't be equated to crying. All right, floor is yours.
Floor is mine. I would take it a step further because I think the words are words have meaning, and words are everything. And they kept saying crying, crying, crying. But in their explanation, I felt it was more whining. They meant whining than crying, not even venting. I just felt that they were talking about, a man that's a whiner. He comes home and he's, whining about his day. I don't feel that crying was the appropriate word. So, and I'm gonna say this, shout out to Vons, because I don't want Vons to think that we are picking on her or, her content, because I didn't get a chance to see it. This is my first time seeing it. And, I like what she's bringing. And she reminds me of Young E. So that's why I'm like, yeah, the way she talks, yes. The way she talks, yes.
Can you explain yourself?
Because she's very...
Did y'all just hear that, y'all? He just said... My sis over here, if you don't know who she is,
it's just TV. It's just TV.
You crazy. But she does. She is very... She's very, I wouldn't say set in her ways, but she's at the age that she's going to stand 10 toes down in what she believes, right? And it sounds like she's been raised by some pretty impactful people in her life. I think she mentioned before about her stepdad being a strong person. I don't know if she said her mom, but I did hear her stepdad being like, a strong guy. But I think that sometimes she's real and authentic. Yeah, most definitely. And I love that about her, because she is, she's at that age where she's still learning. She's still learning about herself. She's still finding her way. She's still, even last week when we were up here talking about relationships and, how I think we were talking about men and emasculating men in that way as well, being very careful to how you talk to men. And she was kind of like, Miss E, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So she, Miss E, like, I can't coddle no man. I can't be gentle with no man. I feel some type of way. And I get it, because I was like that. And I mean, me and SBK have had conversations about this where, my mouth was very, on 10. And sometimes y'all experience it here. I have to tone it down a little bit. But yeah, my mouth can be on 10. So I definitely get where she's coming from. And having a lot of male figures in my life and being around men who have a lot of testosterone, sometimes you feel that, just because they're that way everybody else, every other man needs to be that way. Just because the people in your life respond the way they respond, and that's what you grew up with, then that's what you expect from everybody else, right? And I don't necessarily think that's the case. It kind of took me growing up to realize that I didn't want that type of toxic masculinity that I grew up around in my life. I like peace. I've come to grow to, want my peace and be around peaceful situations as much as freaking possible. And so I don't, if my husband comes to me and is crying, and that means the most to me, because that means he feels that I'm a safe space for him. You know what I'm saying? Not that he's coming crying every day, no, or whining, no. But if he comes to me and ain't nobody gotta die, or something detrimental don't have to happen for him to open up around me. But that's what we built. So I don't look at things like that anymore. I don't define a man by how he responds in the moment. I don't define a man by, if he got to suck it up. I feel that men who suck it up too damn much, they got problems. I also feel that men who feel that they can't have a safe space with their wife or their significant other, that's where we get these work husbands come into play. You know what I'm saying? You get these work husbands, and these, women same way. You get these work wives and all that. And the only reason why they exist is because shit ain't right at home. Okay? Shit ain't right at home for whatever reason. So when people talk like that, and that's across the board, when you can't, if a person can't, that you're in a relationship with, you can't allow them to be themselves, at any given point, that's a problem to me. My husband, like I said, my husband should be able to, at any point, hey, Mr. Cooks.
There's Elder Cooks in the building.
Elder Cooks is in the building.
That is my little brother, y'all. That is my little brother, y'all. Shout out to my little bro.
Exactly. Shout out. But yeah, you gotta be very, very complimentary. I don't, like I said, my husband stomp anybody about me, and in return, I'm gonna stomp anybody about him.
Baseball bat. Take out the baseball bat.
Shut up. We ain't gonna never talk about that. Talk about that. But if he came home with tears, I'm not gonna be like, nigga, what's wrong with you? Ninja, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that, because if he came to me in that vulnerable state, that means I'm his safe space. I'm not gonna talk to my friends about it. I'm not gonna tell them, girl, you ain't gonna guess what happened. This ninja came home crying. Some shit broke out at work, and then he came home crying. I ain't gonna never do that. I will never do that. I have never been one to do that. Not even my mama or my grandmama. And they had a problem with it, because I don't let people in my home. But that, to me, a man should have a safe space. If he is in a relationship with you, and you claim to love him, he should have a safe space to let loose whenever he needs to. You know what I'm saying? If that be tears, if that be a heart to heart, if that be hunchy, if that be, you know what I'm saying? If that be he needs to let you know something in a real way, that should be a safe space. Hey, Cinnabon.
Cinnabon, how you doing?
That should be his safe space, no matter what, no question. And I'm not gonna run to nobody, my friends, my mom, my brother. Nobody's gonna know that my spouse broke down in front of me. That's just facts. I'm not gonna do that.
I have a question, sis, and you know I admire you and bro. Y'all been married, y'all been together for a long time. And this is a legitimate question. Okay. How do you get to that point to where if you've been in a relationship or been in a marriage like you guys, how do you get into a relationship? How do you get to a point to where the man or the woman feels comfortable with coming to each other whenever you do have a legitimate issue or you have something that's weighing down on your shoulders, and it is emotionally and a lot of times physically draining to the point to where you can't hold on to that. How in a marriage, and what is your advice? I'm just asking because I don't know what it's like to be married. Joe and I were listening to Von's chat, a wonderful chat. By the way, you guys, somebody please put Von's link in the chat. Put I said what I said's link in the chat. Urban's link in the chat, please, guys. We were listening, and I don't know what it's like to be married because I've never been there. So how do you get to that point to where you guys, as a couple, you drop your guard and you're like, look, it's like second nature to talk about things. It's second nature to vent about things. How do you get to that point?
You just got to build. It doesn't come instantaneously. Like I said, with our story, we talked on the phone for 3-4 months before we actually even saw each other. So talking on the phone for that long before we even met, we built a friendship, right? What's going on, Urban?
Salute. How y'all doing this evening?
We're doing well.
I'm glad you came up. I'm glad because I have a clipped up of yours, and I want you to react to your own clip. All right, it's all about this. Okay, I want you to react to this.
So which clip is it, on my show or Von's?
Well, I want you go ahead and react to. You go ahead and if whatever you got to say, you go ahead and say it. But I have a clip that I have not shown yet. But I'll give you the opportunity to explain why you say. And by the way, I agree with everything you've said. You know what I'm saying, on your channel about mental health. And I got crucified behind the scenes. By the way, I'm not going to tell you who basically kind of like went after me. You're agreeing with him? You're agreeing with him?
Oh, I know that wasn't me.
No,
that's because I'm the devil incarnate. Me and Lionel.
But go ahead. What do you got on it, bro? Go ahead. I want you to. The floor is yours. But after you get done talking, I got a clip that I have pinned up of yours, so we can react about this mental health and everything. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. First of all, I appreciate y'all inviting me up like always, man. Shout out to y'all. First of all, I want to start off by saying this about Von's. I've been knowing Von's for like a long time in the YouTube streets. And what we do is this. Whenever we get on the panel and have a conversations, we normally take the affirmative of the argument. But what I mean by that, I mean that, like, say for example, if I'm arguing about one thing, she's going to take the opposite or the opposite side of it. And that's how the way she is. And that's how the way I am. So in this conversation that me and Vance was having, I want people to understand that that's not a reflection of how she is. That's not her mentality at all, period. A matter of fact, her and her husband have a phenomenal relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to throw that disclaimer out there because I don't want people to be misconstrued about, man, Vance really think like that and blah, blah, blah. No. That is how we do. Now, for us, the conversation itself, a lot of it, of course, I already said it on Vance, but I just make it short, sweet, to the point, land the plane. I've been talking about mental health for the longest about men, and that conversation really exposed how the way women think about men. It exposed about how women believe that men doesn't have the right to express themselves, and when they do express themselves, then it's considered as being gay or not masculine at all. It considered as being weak as well too. And one of the last thing I said was this. I said, look, this is the reason why we need to have these conversations, because we need to get past this stereotype. We need to get past that, and we need to be healed, especially dealing with mental health, period.
How do we get there, Urban? How do we get there?
Well, we get there by several ways. First of all, it's by us having this honest conversation, this honest dialogue. It's us admitting that it's a problem, it's an issue. It's also for the women in our life to accept that, and to just take accountability on that too. Now, I know that not all women think like this, but there are women, a lot of women who think like this, you know what I'm saying? So there's accountability that needs to take place as well too. Then last but not least, they need to allow that man to open up where he could just express himself without emasculating him.
What, you and I, you know what time it is, Urban. You know what time it is. We've talked about this, but I want you to reiterate. Why is it that men can't be forthcoming when it comes to what they go through? I posted, I know you two guys, y'all follow me on Instagram. I posted this one post on Instagram basically saying that the people, oh, y'all here? There we go. I don't know what happened. What'd you do, Joe? What'd you do? That was you? Okay. One of the things I posted on Instagram was, I posted a post on Instagram. If you not follow me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back, of course. Joe, somebody, whoever's in the chat, y'all put my Instagram in the chat, my Instagram handle in the chat.
Shout out to Halima.
Shout out to Halima, the beautiful Halima. I would love for you to come on the panel sometime. You need to quit watching from the bushes and come up on the panel and kick it with me. If you don't want to kick it with me, then we're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you there, Halima. We're gonna get you on the panel. Shout out to the beautiful Halima. I posted a post on Instagram, basically, Urban, saying that the people that are strong in public and they check up on everybody else, those are the ones that you need to check up on. You know what I mean? The strong ones are the ones that people need to check up on as well. You know what I'm saying? How can women help a man unpack things, in your opinion? Urban, I want you to go, and then what you think, E?
This is how the way I did it in my personal experience. First of all, it started out with me. It started out with me letting go with my past experiences dealing with women who didn't allow me to unpack that, you know what I'm saying, in that space. I went through the process I did, going through, therapy, counseling, whatever you want to call it, right? Went through the process of unpacking things that was bothering me. And from there, the therapist let me know that it's okay for me to express my feeling, but the only caveat behind that is that you need to find someone trustworthy enough who's going to accept that. Not only accept that, but they're going to respect it as well too. So that went part of my vetting process. So when I got back into the dating market seriously and was looking for a wife, that was one of my main things that I wanted to do, is to make sure that whenever I have these conversations that I'm vulnerable, my wife will be able to handle that. So I guess that's the long story short. That's the answer. That it starts off with me. It starts out with me healing from that, and then from there it starts out. From there it starts off with me on finding that person that's suitable to handle that. I guess, if that makes any sense.
So what way did you find out? So for me, it was more, I had to let down my guard a little bit and trust. And, certain situation came up and I had to let my guard down and be vulnerable and take a chance.
Yeah, exactly. It was the same exact way with me. It was a situation that came up where I literally had to let my guard down and be totally vulnerable and transparent. And for that let me know, however way my wife would see that let me know right off the bat that she's giving me that safe space or not.
Yep. And would you say, I'm sorry, SBK, were you gonna say something?
No. Go ahead, cook.
Would you say that it definitely helps, or have you ever had a moment with your wife to where she threw something back in your face that you guys discussed ever, and were you able to course correct if that ever happened?
In my current marriage, no, that we never had that happen where she did something like that, because she respected me so much and I respect her as well too. Now, my previous marriage, absolutely that happened. And that's the reason why I was in that space to begin with in the first place. Once again, it deals with social norm, with the whole concept of that man shouldn't cry, man shouldn't be vulnerable, and if he do be vulnerable, then he's weak, he's gay. And then also my previous marriage, she did go back and let her sister know, let her family know. The next thing you know, they're checking me about this and making me feel some type of way even more.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot, and I totally disagree with that. I totally disagree, and I've stated it before. I do not recommend you bringing your bestie or your auntie, your mama, your grandmama, into your relationship. Is definitely not the way to go. Whether they had a healthy relationship or not, I don't believe in sharing your intimate details. And I consider intimate details, arguments or disagreements or what have you, as long as they ain't beating you up, you know what I'm saying? Within reason. But you shouldn't be sharing all your personal, conversations with your family or even your friends. It's never a good look. And it always ends in, you walking in the spaces and you thinking, my wife or my husband ain't saying, telling my business, and they know all your business, and it comes out eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. So what people tend to do, they give you advice based on their relationship, and they think that their advice is concrete, that you got to follow it. It's the Bible, it's God. And if you don't follow it that way, then it's an issue. And so what end up happens that that person will relay it back into the relationship. Except for try to test drive it, as if it worked. Then when the dude have pushback, or even if the woman have pushback on it, right? Then guess what? It's a problem. It's causing a toxic relationship. So I don't believe in that at all, period, that you shouldn't be sharing anything about your relationship, period. Nothing. Now, it's okay to, just generalize certain things, but don't throw your stuff out there, because it is always someone out there that's jealous of your relationship. Whether if it's your friend, whether it's your family member, whoever the case may be, is someone always out there jealous of your relationship and looking for any type of opportunity to sabotage it.
Absolutely.
Get
it together.
Important for the wife, significant other, and our society to be non-judgmental when a guy is expressing his emotions.
I think she meant his emotions.
His emotions, probably.
Yeah, his emotions. Yeah, I'm gonna put it like this. I have a problem with women who feel that not problem, but I feel that you really need to look at the double standard of it all when you're talking about you don't want a man that comes home and confides in you as he should, as his significant other, as the woman he loves, as the woman he has trusted himself to. You shouldn't have a problem with that. And the double standard is, what if, because I heard people say that's weak. That's, I can't look at him the same way if he crying or if he act that way. But what if he felt the same way about you when you come home all the time and you cussing and you acting very manly and you got a mouth on you and he feels this very, masculine the way you talk, the way this nigga, and he feels that, well, shit, I don't particularly like it when you all in your manliness. That turns me off when I feel like you wearing the drawers up in this relationship. So why is it okay for you to be that way? And it's not okay for him. And I'm not saying that happens all the time, right? But it's not okay for him to, show some vulnerability. That's a double standard.
You just answered the question. It's a double standard. Shout out to you, Slim. Shout out to my bro, Slim.
Hey, pick and choose.
Salute to you, bro. Thank you for coming through. That you just answered the question. It's a double standard. And Urban pointed that out because if the roles were reversed, it would be a problem. It'd be a serious problem. You know what I mean? So my thing is that I think we need to be cognizant. That is one of the reasons in Urban, you can tell, that's one of the reasons why I came up on the panel, because I wanted to distinguish the reasoning for us using the word crying and the word venting. We get all of that jumbled up, you know what I'm saying? Even though women, it sounds good that we can, it sounds good, but in real life, you know what I mean? Women say that they want to be there for their man, but they have this preconceived idea that it has to be based on conditions. And Urban, you spoke on that. I'll let you go ahead and cook, bro, because you spoke on that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I said this. I said this on my show. I said this on Tap A and on your show too, SBK. I said this. I said that men tend to love women based on unconditional, but women tend to love men based on conditions. And I got a lot of pushback on that. But the reason why I say that is because women tend to place all these different conditions upon the man, how the way they perceive that a man should be, or how the way his behavior should be. But likewise, men don't do that to women. Like when a woman come in and they venting or whatever you want to call it, right, and they're mad or whatever, guess what? We'll accept that as the media reality, and we will confine in that. We'll be cussing the person out too. We don't even know the person. We'll be cussing out with you because we care that much. But likewise, on the other hand, women, I'm not saying all women, but women tend to do things based on conditions. As long as you satisfy these certain type of criteria, then that's when we're going to do it. Then that's when we're going to be vulnerable. That's like what Vance was saying in her panel when she made the conditions. She said the only time that a man should cry is on these two conditions. First condition, if he's simping out and trying to get her back, he could cry then. Then she said the other condition was when the man is crying, like if he lost somebody. That was it. Other than that, no room whatsoever.
That's crazy. But I feel it though.
But see, and like I said, this is not I'm pointing this out because there are more radical ideas on the feminine side, on the women's side, on that.
Hey, bro, the stuff that Vance said, right? This ain't nothing compared to what I heard feminist women say, because they say some extreme stuff for real. I ain't lying.
Facts. That's what I'm saying. It's way more. They don't want to hear no. There should be no emotion from a man. Not even a man to get mad. You know what I mean? Or what does the scripture say? Righteous indignation.
Righteous indignation.
So, but anyways, excuse me. So what I'm saying is that I wish in a perfect world, all the barriers were just broke down and people would not, judge you by your feelings or judge you by your emotions, especially if you're in a relationship. You know what I mean? Now, I'm glad that you pointed out, even to me, Urban, every man, every person, everybody, every lady has emotions. You might express them differently. You might express them privately. You might not cry in front of people. You might not share your emotions in front of people, but everybody has emotion. How you deal with it is another thing. You know what I mean? So with men, it's just, I made a statement on her panel today. With men, especially with black men, it is black men are taught to not show emotion. And I truly believe that the reason for a lot of the things that we go through in our society, in our neighborhoods and so forth and so on, is because black men don't have a safe place to go to just vent. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Vons.
Hey, Vons.
Vons, I want to say this. Y'all go sub up to Vons Reality. Please go sub up. I am very proud of this young lady. This young lady has a wonderful channel. I enjoyed my little time up on her panel. She had a wonderful discussion. Vons, you are a great content creator. I'm being honest with you. You are a great content creator. Keep it up. Y'all go and subscribe to Vons. Doing a great job over there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm never talking again. No,
don't do that. Look, the link is pinned, ladies and gentlemen. The link is pinned at the top, so you guys can come up. Vons, don't be that way.
Von's been hanging out with me too much. Now she be triggering people just like I'll be triggering people at my channel to get the conversation going. But now, shout out to her on the cool though, man. Like I say, I've been knowing Von's for a long time in the YouTube streets. Said her evolution is phenomenal for real, and I respect her for that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and that's what Vons. I didn't know that she was faking the funk. Out here in these YouTube streets that you going back and forth with Urban, y'all trying to spark conversations, but I still do think you still remind me a lot of my young self. So but keep doing what you're doing, for sure.
You told your mama this was going to happen about us doing a panel on your subject? I told you before I left, and even Urban, you warned her. This could be a topic of discussion on Tap In or SBK's channel, and Urban even said on mine.
I didn't get to see it all the way, so yeah, I was like, "Oh Lord," because I feel we having these conversations a lot. With like you guys said, it is needed for whomever wants to listen. But men, they do need safe spaces, believe it or not. I know y'all don't think that they should have them. Some women think that they shouldn't, and that's just not the case. Everybody needs to release, and it don't always come in the form of sex. You know what I'm saying? She said they need to talk about you.
But we can talk about sex too.
Absolutely, but that don't always solve the problem, right? It's a temporary reliever.
Where's what you call that?
Lord Jesus, hold on.
Can't talk about sex either on my channel or with
It's Just TV. It's Just TV.
You got issues. It's not a fix-all. It's not a fix-all. It's a temporary stress reliever for sure. When you get up off of it, problems still may be there.
But they might not be there after you release all of your energy.
Still may be there. All right, we're gonna ask Urban. Urban, do you think that sex is the end all be all? It's the solver of every problem?
Hell no.
Okay.
I told y'all that sex is overrated. To be honest, let's keep it real.
He said, "Let's keep it real." I'm gonna say it's overrated, but I'm gonna say
it is. It's overrated.
End all be all. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not the end all be all. Not at all.
Thick thighs save lives.
Thick thighs. Momentarily. You know what I'm saying? What she say? DR says sex is healing. Y'all playing.
For real, it heals, man. Come here.
Come here. Things, but come here. Sometimes it don't, it's a temporary fix. It's a temporary fix. There you go. There you go.
Hey, E, by a lot of these women saying that sex is healing, it could solve problems, that lets you know right now that is a problem, because many women think like this. They think that I don't have to hold myself accountable. All I gotta do is give my body, and he just gonna forget.
Facts.
Temporarily.
Yeah, temporary. He's gonna forget.
They don't understand it's temporary. They think they done solved the problem.
Now, if y'all speaking about sex for us, love making, and you having an intimate connection without argument or different like that, that's totally different.
A man can still hunchy and be mad as hell at your butt and still get up off of it and still have an attitude.
That's why the dude be sitting up here having that old banging sex with you, be sitting up here banging yourself because he mad.
I don't know about that. Having an attitude afterwards. I don't know.
You still have an attitude.
I'm in that afterglow.
Yeah, he after when it's all said and done, he gonna be sleepy. He gonna be temporary happy or sleepy. Then he gonna wake up. Hey buddy, gonna wake up in the midnight, get him a drink of water. You're like, you know what? Fuck that B. I'm mad again.
I'm speaking from experience. I have still gotten a piece. We have gotten a piece, and we still have a conversation after the fact. It didn't solve the problem. It did what it was necessary to do, but we still had to have a conversation.
I'm gonna be like Tyrese. And Baby Boy. You gonna clean up and make me them tacos?
You crazy. You crazy. You are crazy. It don't do it all the time.
The link is pinned.
The link is pinned. Did we go over the survey?
Oh, we didn't.
Did you vote, Urban?
Did I vote? I don't know. I probably didn't. Let me see. No, I didn't. Because I just seen y'all was on. And I hit the link.
Okay.
So SBK, you also say you was gonna do a video too.
Yeah,
I got a video. What's the link say? I'm gonna play the video right now. What was the results of the link? I can't pull it up for some reason.
The results of the link of the survey?
Yeah.
Hold on. So the survey says, which of these do you believe about emotional men? A man who cries is still strong. A man should only cry over death. Men who are too emotional are weird. And I want emotional honesty. But nah. So those were the four options. 71% said a man who cries is still strong. 71% says that. I'm having some problem believing that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've read some chats.
For real.
I've listened to some panels.
For real.
And I'm finna be in my urban. I'm gonna put on my urban real quick. Hold on. That's bullshit.
For real.
With the cap.
With the cap. Because I didn't read some things. I didn't seen some things. Some things have been said. For this to be 71%, unless it's all the ghost watchers out there. Shout out to the ghost watchers.
Shout out.
Y'all out there, voting.
Shout out.
But
shout out.
They saying that a man who cries is still strong. But that ain't what you said. That ain't what you said.
That ain't what you said in the chat, and I saw what you said.
That ain't what you said in the chat.
In the words of the great, I said what I said. I saw what you said.
Okay, men crying. You don't want no man coming in.
Don't want no man crying.
Right.
No man crying to me.
He said it's just
weird.
All the estrogen just fall out of you. You don't get wet no more when you see the man cry like that. It ain't wet no more. That's what you said. That's what you said.
You said you look at them different when they cry.
You look at them different. You be like, he look like he got a fanny. You got a fanny. You got one of them,
In the words of the great urban lounge podcast, that's bullshit.
Okay.
Now,
wait.
Now, everybody, keep in mind that it's not going to be an everyday thing that a man sitting up here being vulnerable and crying to you. It's very rare, you know what I'm saying? But we do need that space where we do want to do that. That's what I was saying on that panel. And also, there's mention about dudes are hypersensitive, meaning that they just crying off of every little thing. That's different. That is totally different.
Yeah. He got some estrogen. He may need to, have himself checked.
Thank you. Y'all made me come up here and explain myself because y'all called me out. So I was like, they just love for me to come up here and explain myself.
Yes, we do. I know, right? Yes, we do.
And that's exactly what I said. Don't come home crying to me every day because I'm not no crier. I don't be sitting around crying to you. Don't need you crying to me every day. But if you got an issue, I can understand that, and I will be a safe space and I'll sit up here and I'll have a conversation with you and I'll listen to you. But I'm not going to listen to you whine every day. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not a whiner and I'm not going to get along with a whiner because I'm going to be side-eyeing you. Like, why are you crying about every little bit of thing? Now, I understand we all go through things. Life do be lifing. Things do happen. And so you are supposed to be there for your partner. And you are supposed to be their support system. And you're supposed to be the one that they come and talk to. Because if you're not the one that they're going to talk to, then they're going to, like Miss E said, that's where the work wife come in and the work husband. So if you don't talk to them, somebody is going to talk to them. And if you don't do your job, somebody else is going to do your job for you. So you definitely need to do your job. However, I don't need you coming home crying every day. I'm just sorry. I'm not going to be able to do that. That's what I had said.
I said what I said. The moment when you mentioned partner, everything else I just heard wonk, 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 wonk.
I understand.
You in this
but for me and my house, I'm just telling you about me and my house. And like I said, I can have a conversation with you and we can talk about it until the sun come up. But I just don't understand a whiny, not even just a whining man, even a whining woman. I just don't, I don't like whiners at all, whether it's man or woman.
Do you think that's mostly in our community or do you think that's just that's just a traditional way of
it's in our
growing up?
It's in our community because we are taught to be strong. We are taught that we have to handle everything. And society has made it to where we have to handle more than other races. Okay, it's not all of it is not our fault. Some of it is our fault, but all of it isn't. It's not all of our faults. But at the end of the day, when we're born, especially if you're a black male, you have two strikes against you when you come into the world. Number one, you're black, and number two, you're a male. And society don't see you the same as they see everybody else. So therefore, like SBK said, his mom said, it's okay to talk about your problems or whatever, but you can't be a whiner. And that's what most black parents teach their children. You can't whine about everything that goes on in life. And now, whether it's right or wrong, I'm not here to say that, but that's just the way that we are raised. And that's why I put it in the chat. SBK say, how can we change that? I think we can change that by allowing our kids to express themselves instead of telling the kids, you're just being grown or you're talking back to me. Because, with your black parent, you can't say too much to them without them saying that you're popping off or you're trying to be too grown. A lot of times they want to allow you to express yourself. They shut you down really quickly.
Absolutely. Look who stepped in the room.
Look who.
Miss Vine.
Come on in the room.
Look. No. I got something I want to say, okay? Because I feel like I've been set up.
Girl, they've been talking about you the whole hour, girl.
I feel like Mr. Lounge tricked me so that this could happen, because how I'm looking at this is how did all this happen? But I knew that. I'm telling y'all, I called my mother. I got something to tell y'all real quick. Ain't gonna be long. But I called my mother and I told her what happened. And she immediately, y'all, now remember I said what I said, we was having that conversation about, people agreeing with me first, then tell. She immediately told me I was wrong, y'all, threw me completely off. We ended up on the phone with my granny. My granny say I'm wrong.
You don't got a whole family.
Yes, we ended up on the phone with my grandfather. They say I'm wrong. Then they sending me text messages talking about some Jesus wept. I'm like, what in the world is I'm not wrong. But apparently I'm wrong. But here's what I do have to say. Okay, let me be very clear. Yes, okay, it is okay for a man to have a safe space with his spouse. However, okay, everybody, okay, like me, is not equipped to handle that. Okay, you just coming home out of nowhere, you just crying every day. That to me, an over emotional man, or just the emotional man, period. I personally don't think I can handle it, because that's not who my spouse is. On the other hand, if he is going through something, I have been there. Has he cried? I have been there. But it's not a normal thing for us, But however, I have learned some things today. And what I learned is, I still got some growing to do. But I'm going to say this. No woman wants no blubbering mess man. I stand on it. I stand by it. It's not enough safe space in the world for a man to just be a blubbering fool. That's all I got to say. Now y'all can eat me up. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. But I stand on what I say. I'm standing on what I say.
She said what she said.
Okay.
It ain't enough safe space in the world.
Shout out to OSD. OSD in the building.
I have a statement.
Come on with it.
Salute, bro.
I have a statement. Vance, I am out here doing the Lord's work.
That's the statement?
Yes, it's a statement of fact.
Okay.
That's the statement. I'm out here doing the Lord's work.
Mr. Lounge, you doing this again. You're doing
Vaughn, you're just fine. You just keep living, sweetie. You'll be all right.
I know I said what I said. They ain't gonna get me. They not gonna get me to change my mind.
Don't let them catch you up.
They trying to make me soft.
I told you earlier. If it works for your household, baby, you good. Okay, your man.
That's right.
It ain't broke. Don't you fix it. But look, I also told you, as time go on, you're gonna be able to mature and you'll be able to see things a little bit more. You'll be able to lean a little bit different. So. And right. It's just like, before you got in church, you didn't know, but now you've been told. And so now you know.
Right.
And you can't unknow what you know. right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's true.
So whenever that time comes, now maybe you'll be able to handle it a little bit different. Maybe you won't pack his clothes up if he start crying to you tomorrow.
And am I correct in assuming, or I think you said something, Vaughn? Is this your childhood sweetheart?
Yeah. Well, maybe not childhood, high school.
I
been together.
Consider that childhood.
Oh well, okay, yeah. You right.
And that makes sense. Y'all been together since Go ahead.
A long time.
Since her mama started letting her date.
And also, Bonds, you didn't hear when Eve first said we reacted on your video. She looks.
Wait, y'all reacted to my video?
Yes.
They did.
Lord, y'all got me good. Girl, I got to watch the replay.
I told you they were talking about you, girl.
I want, but listen, I want you to understand something though.
Mm-hmm.
We admire you, first of all. We admire you. And second of all, E just said, when you rewind the replay, I want you to listen to what E said about you. E said that you reminded her of a young E. At your age, E had the same mindset as you did at her age. And she understands why you feel the way you feel. You know what I'm saying? She understands. Mm-hmm. She understands. So the thing about it is that, of course, you're young, you know what I'm saying? You're young. And so because you are young, you have ladies like E, and I said what I said. They can relate to what you're going through because you're a young married young lady, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I don't know what it's like to be married, you know what I'm saying? These ladies, right. Urban does. So they've been where you haven't, you know what I mean? They've been married for a long period of time. They've been with their spouses for a long period of time. And so they know. So you're being honest and raw. And that's what we need. You know what I'm saying? We don't, we need young ladies like yourself that are honest about the whole ordeal. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I respect that. I honestly respect that. Because over here, I want you to understand. I want you to understand, Vaughn. I want people to chat and people that listen to me. I want people to understand that on the Tap In podcast and on my panel, you know what I mean? You can be you. You know what I'm saying? No fakeness over here. You know what I'm saying? Because we learn from each other. We learn from each other. We you know what I'm saying? We grow, and that's how we get better. You know what I'm saying? So that's I want you to understand. When you watch the playback, I want you to see that.
Oh, well, I'm going to keep it real and say, I thought y'all, I really, when I came in the chat, I heard you talking about it. And I'm thinking, y'all was just doing y'all regular live. But no, it's cool. And I'm actually, just a little flattered. I'm not going to lie. That don't, But
it's not a bashing thing at all. You know what I mean? It's not a bashing thing. It's not a clashing thing or bashing thing at all. It's one of those things where we're learning. You know what I'm saying? We're learning because there are a lot, and Urban and I, we share the same sentiment. There are a lot of ladies out here in this world that have way more radical views than what you think that you have. You know what I'm saying? You just have some views. It's like, hey man, I'm all that crying and stuff. You know what I mean? But I feel that. You know what I mean? I feel you because. Like I told you on your panel, like I said on my panel 2 weeks ago, you were on. My mom was like that, bro. You know what I mean? My mom didn't like no, in my mom's eyes, if you whine and stuff as a man, she ain't trying to hear that. She wasn't trying to hear that at all. I tell E all the time, my sister is like my mom. My sister, my blood sister. E is, she talks to me kind of rough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm used to women being pretty rough with me, and so all through the years, I have this mentality about my emotions. I can vent. You know what I'm saying? But while I'm venting to my loved one, I'm going to have to find a solution. But in the same token, though, I like what Urban said on your panel, Vaughn, about, hey, SBK, I'm going to have to push back on you, bro. You got emotions. Everybody has emotions. It's how you deal with those emotions. A lot of men, they take their emotions and they wear it on their sleeves. A lot of men take their emotions and they deal with it, privately. It's just how you deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And with me personally, I'm not the crier. I'm not the crying type. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those guys I'm pretty hard-nosed. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make fun of me about being in the country, but I'm pretty a hard-nosed type dude. You know what I mean? I'm pretty hard-nosed, straight to the fact, cutting edge type guy. You know what I mean? I'm no nonsense type guy. And it's just, he'll tell you, I'm just one of those guys. It's just like,
I mean, I figured that when you talking about women and peace, that conversation we had, and I said, oh, he one of them. So when you hit the link, that's why I was like, don't come up here with that soft stuff. Because I already knew what you was going to say. But it's like, I get it. I understand. I'm learning from y'all. I really am. That conversation didn't just go in the void. Like I said, got on the phone with the whole family. Like, am I wrong? And apparently, I was, even though I still feel like I'm right.
And it's not a right or wrong thing, though, Bond. It's how you feel. And let me interject this, Urban, before you speak. First of all, I want to say, you guys are not wrong. A lot of young women, like you guys said, they feel that way about their men. And the worst thing that I think anybody can do is discuss their relationship on the outside of their relationship. And a lot of young women and a lot of young men do that. Instead of venting to each other, they'll go and vent to their friends and family. And they get the whole world involved in their relationship. And then when it don't work out and when everybody pick their side, you're trying to figure out, well, why are these people feeling this way about, especially if you decide to stay together, because everybody else on the outside is mad at one or the other, and you two are back together again. And a lot of times it's hard to bring the friends and family back together if you decide to stay together. And number two, I want to ask SBK, so because you're so hard, did you allow women to abuse you in a certain, not so much abuse you like, physically, but mentally? Did you allow women to mentally abuse you when you were in relationships with women? Because that's what it sounds like you allowed to happen to you.
Talk about me?
SBK. No, me? SBK, yeah.
Did I let a lot of women abuse me as far as like
mentally, yeah.
In my relationship?
Emotionally, yeah.
I did. Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
That can happen. Yeah, that can happen when you have a stern exterior and you don't express yourself, and you just allow people to throw whatever they want to throw at you, and you don't say much and you don't react much. Well, I'm gonna just tell you, women will go as far as you'll let them go. And even men, people, you have to treat people how to treat you. You have to teach them how to treat you. And people are only they'll treat you however you allow them to treat you. So if you allow them to walk all over you, then guess what? They're gonna walk all over you. I
got a question too, SBK. I got a question too. Is that why you like you're single now and you I ain't gonna say you have trouble finding a partner, because clearly all the women want you, from what
Lord partner.
But is that why you choose to not be in a relationship, because of that? Like you don't want that to happen again?
No, that's not at all true. I choose not to be in a relationship. I can be in a relationship if I wanted to, but I choose not to be in a relationship because of several things. Second of all, first of all, my daughter's at the forefront of my life. You know what I mean? The most important thing to me. I think I've told my story to you guys. Her mom's gone. Her mom passed away nearly 10 years ago. So, and by the way, speaking of my daughter's mom, to answer your question, I said what I said in Vaughn's. My daughter's mom always told me, and I've told this story to Joe, and she wanted me to tell you guys this story because Joe said it's correct. My daughter's mom always got on to me about holding emotions in. All right, when she was on this earth and when she was here, she always said, "Dude, you need to quit holding your emotions in, and because you're letting a lot of things fester, and when you explode, everything comes out." You know what I'm saying? So, in essence, what she was saying was basically, let's talk about things. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. Don't let things fester. So, I have this stigma about myself, which is, it could be right, it could be wrong. You know what I mean? A lot of people say it's wrong, but me, I'm still learning. You know, you're never too old to learn. So what I'm saying to you is this: I personally, I as I said on your panel, Vaughn, I do not hold a lot of emotion in, a lot of anger, and a lot of all this. You know what I'm saying? And that can be dangerous. You know, I that can be very dangerous. I know my temperament. You know, I might smile. You guys look at my page, or if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. But I'm one of those guys that you don't really want to, you know, mess around with. You know what I'm saying? If I'm pushed to that edge.
Right.
So, but the thing about it is, to answer your question, Bonds, is that I choose not to be in a relationship because, number one, because of my daughter. Number two, I have a lot of things. I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish, and sis has got onto my ass about this or whatever. But I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish, and I feel like that I shouldn't be in a relationship because of those goals not being accomplished. You know, I'm in the process of building my home. I'm in the middle. You know, my career. You know these folks that I work for, man, they want to move me off to Timbuktu, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not there yet, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're going to be married or be in a relationship, then all of your ducks should be in a row, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be into a relationship and not have everything in line. But to answer your question, I'm not in a relationship because of things that have happened because of my emotions and all that type of stuff. No, you know what I mean? But I have been taken advantage of because of me not letting a lot of things go. You know what I mean? But I let a lot of things go, you know, let a lot of things fester, and then that's not good for the other party, and you know, that's taking advantage of those feelings and situations, you know what I'm saying? So I hope I answer y'all's question.
Yeah, you basically answered my question, and I kind of figured that's why, you know, you wasn't in a relationship, because it's very important when you have a child, you know, that your child going to be treated fairly and your child going to be treated correctly. So for the longest, I wasn't in a relationship because of my son. And he had a father, and I didn't want that to clash with the relationship. And you're absolutely right. Sometimes it can clash, especially when you have an active parent that's involved in your child's life like that.
Yes.
Especially if y'all don't hate each other. And I don't hate any of my ex-husbands. I talk to them as if we're friends now. You know, we are friends. We've always been friends, because once we got a divorce, I still had children by both of them, and so I had to stay friendly with them for my kids, because I never used my kids as a retaliation against what was going on with me and them. They've always known their father. They're still close to their father, and when you have a child with somebody, you're basically connected to them for the rest of your life, because your child is going to go through different steps in life, and you still may have to be together in life.
Right. Don't get it wrong. I said what I said. I have a lot of women
Well, but they're not at your house though. That's what I'm talking about.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they don't need to come to your house. And
no, they don't need to come to my house.
Put it like this: the only boots in the closet need to be yours.
Facts.
Said the only boots in the closet need to be yours.
Yeah.
All right now.
What them fans at? What them fans at?
Okay. That's right.
I'm just saying that's what I did because I feel I see so many times where the step parent may not treat your kid the way that you want them to treat your kid, or they may be jealous of the father. And now that wasn't my situation because my stepson still called me his mom because I treated him like he was my child. But every woman is not gonna do that, especially not a younger woman.
And y'all should be together.
Yeah, it should be together. And I've been a victim of women wanting to be a part of my child's life, and then all of a sudden I just get I get railroaded. But I live and I learn, you know what I mean? I live and I learn, you know what I mean? So that's the reason why I'm comfortable by myself I'm just a bachelor.
But also too, it worked both ways because in a lot of times men try to get close to you and they'll try to go through your kids to get close to you. And the same thing go with women. They'll try to get close to your child just to get close to you to make you, to make you like, ooh, she'll be a great mother for my child. And I know women probably, especially if it's a single man, because men, it's more women on the earth than it is men. And especially if it's a woman that's looking for a man, they may have a facade and act like that they like your child. And then once they get with you and you go to work, what is your child dealing with? So I salute you for that. And it's just like you said, if you're not ready for a relationship, because I have a problem with that too. Don't get married to somebody and don't get in a relationship with somebody if you're not mentally and financially stable enough to get in a relationship. If you're not ready.
And that's where I'm at right now. I'm not interested in being in marriage. I'm not interested in being in a relationship. I just look at y'all in y'all sundresses and lust after y'all in my own way.
Lord,
and I just look at y'all. And
where is Joe?
I look at y'all in y'all tight sweats and lust in a long way.
They don't mean it. They don't mean it, Lord. They just playing.
Lord knows my heart. He knows I mean it. I mean it, Lord.
I'm not permitted. Hey, I'm not permitted to dress a certain type of way. I can't wear gray sweatpants unless I'm wearing them around the house and stuff. So there's that.
SBK, make sure you
That's right, Mr. Lounge.
SBK, make sure you keep them tight, light gray sweatpants on. Light gray, not dark gray, light gray.
I said what I said.
If you follow my Instagram, if you follow my IG page, I got enough to see. So that's all I got to say about that. But anyway, and that's all I got to say about that.
Gotcha.
You didn't let loose.
Hey, by the way, Vons, I don't admire nothing about you.
Ooh.
How about that?
Oh,
Mr. Lounge lying, y'all. He trying to trigger me.
Okay.
Bonds, I will say, never mind.
Now I'll say the reason why I'm saying that is because I was saying all that earlier on her panel, and so I only got a limit. I only say that once a month. That's all you get, once a month. Me saying it. That's it.
That's a good policy.
Remainder of the month.
I'm gonna forever hold on to the first time I heard it, Mr. Lounge. I ain't never letting it go.
Mr. Lounge, that's a good policy though. That's a good policy. That's a good.
It
policy.
is.
Keep them at bay. Keep them at bay.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Checks and balance.
Don't adopt that, SBK. We like how you are. You stay just like you are. Don't let Urban.
Yeah, don't let him change you.
Yeah, you stay.
Don't let him turn you all hard and cold. Yeah. SBK ain't nothing wrong with crying. You cry all you want. Don't change. Don't
He said you can cry all you want. All you want.
Don't cry. Now look, I got this video queued up that I want you guys to react. And I want you guys on the panel and everybody in the chat to react to this this. Shout out to my boy Urban. Here we go.
I'm gonna be a pick me right now because we be knowing when our niggas unhappy, we just don't care, and that's the problem. I care, but y'all don't care, and that's the problem. Cause it's not fair. Cause we be knowing y'all energy change, y'all mood change, y'all vibe is different when y'all are unhappy. Y'all are. I can tell when a man is depressed. I can tell when a man is depressed. I can tell when a man's unhappy with work. All of that stuff. I can tell. So if I could tell, y'all could tell, and y'all are selfish. So yeah.
So I had asked this one question earlier. Can y'all tell when a man is actually unhappy? Can you tell that, you know, you're one significant other, your boyfriend, your husband, or whoever it is? Can you actually tell when that dude is really unhappy?
I can.
Now, once again, I threw it out here that women say that they have intuition, right? That they could sense when something is wrong or whatever the case may be, right? But can you truly sense when your man is not feeling you?
Yeah.
Can you literally sense when your man is actually after fighting against the world and struggling and he's trying to figure things out? Can you really sense? The only way, once again, the only way you'll be able to sense that if you are concerned about your man's mental health. Truly. If you're selfish, if you're self-centered, if you're egotistical, then you're not going to sense it at all. You're not going to even care. Are you going to sit up there and just look at that dude and you're just going to tell that dude to suck the shit up and figure it out? Instead of being that comfort for that dude. So at least he knows that this person who is on his corner, that she's going to be with him no matter what. But it is on modern day time, women are not like that. They're not built like that at all, period. They're not.
Some not.
Absolutely not.
Not all.
Is it any wonder why men's mental health is in crisis?
Yes, because soon as a man opens up to a woman and tells them like their deepest, darkest secrets, women tend to use that against men. And I don't know why. I'm a woman and I don't know why.
I always ask this question all the time, and I'm kind of curious what y'all gonna say about this. Why do you, ladies, why do y'all do that? Why do y'all weaponize the things that men tell you in confidence? Why do y'all do that? If we're telling you certain situations and we're becoming vulnerable to you and telling this situation right, and we put all our trust into you, why do y'all do that? Why do y'all come back later and weaponize that against us? Why? This lady right here said that she don't understand why she do that, but I could speculate to the reason why. The reason why is, once again, like I stated earlier, because it's dealing with your ego. Once when your ego get bruised, once when your ego get hurt, once when a man end up saying a certain thing and you know he's right about it and you don't want to admit when he's right, what you do? You resort to doing these ad hominem attacks on that dude. Man, whoever that dude is, I need to sub up to his channel ASAP. That dude phenomenal, dang.
I don't like the way he had his head turned when he was talking.
I like the way he had his head turned. Okay.
SBK, you like muted like that. He having the whole conversation by himself.
Unmute yourself, brother.
Damn. I said, yeah, y'all need to sub up to whoever this dude is, Urban Lounge Podcast. And I want you to react to this, Urban, because we talked about on Vaughn's panel as well, and we talked about it on my panel, but some of the ladies that are on the panel now and that were on the panel last week did not address about the subject of this and emasculation. I want you to go. Go ahead, Urban.
Yeah, so it's simple. One of the main reasons why men do not allow themselves to be vulnerable towards a woman is because they fear of emasculation. They fear of retaliation. What do I mean by that? I mean that all it takes is one moment for that dude to piss that lady off or that woman off. One moment. And guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna literally weaponize everything that he told her in confidence and use it against him just to win a certain point or argument. This is the reason why I say all the time that women are egotistical. I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh, that was a weird pause. What say you, ladies? You are back on mute, SBK.
I'm gonna let what I said go first.
What was the question? Well, the whole thing about it is, no matter what answer we give, Miss E, SBK is gonna say, "Well, it sounds good," So it's like it doesn't matter what we say. He don't really believe what we say anyway, and Urban is just gonna call it BS. So, they got their minds made up no matter what the answer is. But in actuality, I was doing something else, so I really wasn't paying attention. That's why I'm sitting up here answering Urban while he's on video, and I'm like some of us women, so I wasn't really paying attention too much. So what was the question about masculinity? What were you saying?
Oh my God, this is what I'm talking about right here.
I knew he was gonna do that.
Urban, they tend to not remember the questions about emasculation.
Right. It's like their mind is go brain dead instantly. Shoot, that ain't no apply to me, so I'm not going to even listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. If it don't apply to me, I'm not listening, basically. And my mind do wonder. So, and I can't help if I'm multi-talented and I can do, 2 or 3 things at one time. But I heard some of the question that I didn't hear all of it. So what was the question?
You hold up. I'll say you said that you multi-talented, but you can't listen. Ain't that part of being multi-talented?
Well, I said it didn't apply to me, so I wasn't really paying attention. So SBK
it
said
didn't
something.
Apply, so she let it fly.
Yeah, so I just let it slide. I started listening, and then after I saw they wasn't talking to me, so I just started doing something else. So what was the question?
I know that's right, sis.
Von's over here co-signing. All right, long story short, the reason why men do not open up to women is because they fear emasculation, they fear retaliation. Oh, yeah. All it takes is one moment where they do make their woman mad, and guess what? She's going to open up a can of worms on that dude and spill the beans.
Yeah, that can happen in an argument, especially if you're angry and you're not mature enough to, handle whatever your man tell you. But it goes both ways because men do the same thing. It may not be that you bring something up that we've told you, and then again, it may be like when y'all asked that question about how many people that we slept with, and you still decide to stay with us after we done told you we done slept with 50 people. But then when you have an argument, oh, you just a hoe anyway. And, so at the end of the day, it goes both ways. So it's not just a woman thing or a man thing. It's all people do that from time to time. Should you do it? No, you shouldn't. But does it happen? Yes, it happened. And it does happen on both sides.
What my bullshit button there? Hold up. Where is that at, man? So, because there's some bullshit.
Wait,
let
me go first before you get to pressing buttons and stuff. So, okay, what I said, which is it happens on both sides. It's okay for me to be honest again.
Sure, be honest.
You're in the safe space, Vons, until I hit this bullshit button. So, go ahead.
Long story short, I have experienced both, okay? And I feel like it's not okay. I really truly feel it's not okay on either side. Now I'm gonna keep it real. I used to think, now remember, I've been in therapy. I told y'all that, okay? And I learned in therapy that a lot of my ways are not normal. So, if you're in an argument with your spouse, you should still be respectful in the argument. It's not about, who can Because for me, you say something, anything you say to me, okay, my response is gonna be worse than yours because who you playing with, right? But in the reality of things, that's not. And I've kind of also learned, like, from women, that is, and I'm not saying this is like to have the one up, but what I've learned from a lot of women is, it's best for us to not, hit them in the balls, in the sack. It's really just best to, I ain't gonna say play victim, but let them be the more of the butthole than you, so that they will, feel bad and, apologize to you, or not even apologize. Like, it's not to just get an apology, but it's so that he can come back, not come back, but there isn't so much damage done. So if he say something that, what, I'm just keeping it real. If they say something that's really, detrimental, you shouldn't say something that's gonna make it even worse. Because no matter what, him being a man and y'all ego being so fragile and y'all being so soft at heart, y'all can't take it how we can. Because we may forgive you, or we may forget about it, but for y'all, it's like, oh, you said this about, and it's like, but you said this, but y'all only remember what we said to break y'all down. And now it's like y'all don't feel like a man around us because we can really beat y'all at the, when you do the dozens, if you do the dozens, because everybody doesn't do the dozens. You really shouldn't, but just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? What? What? Well, I'm being honest. What?
Miss E, when you finish, I got some more knowledge I want to throw it away.
Okay, fine. Now, you can't say that we the bigger person. We like to match energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we shouldn't.
We shouldn't. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you remind me a lot of myself when I was younger. You want to match wits with a man. You want to match energy with a man. You want to go toe to toe with a man. You want to go back and forth with a man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that you're going to forget it. Because you're not. That's what I'm saying. You misspoke. You ain't forgetting not a damn thing that was said. You're gonna bring it back up. You may not have instigated the fight, but you damn sure gonna make sure that he remembers. So
I mean, okay, yes, you're right, E. On some level, yes, you're gonna remember not to play with me.
Exactly. That's why I say you remind me of young E.
But it doesn't help in the end though, because then I'm still the one who took it too far, even though you started it. I'm still the problem. You know what I'm saying? So.
Exactly. You cannot roll any of what you said back. And when you go to, when you going for the juggler and you going for that side with that dagger, you can't come back from that. That's what I said last week.
Go ahead, Missy.
No. That's what I said. That's what I said last week. You gotta watch your mouth.
Right. And also, Von, if you teach your partner how to have an argument with you, neither one of y'all will go for the juggler. Okay? If you try to, if whenever you and your partner is having a conversation, even if you're angry with each other, I just always feel like it have to be a certain level of respect at all times. You can't just call them any and everything and then be in love tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. It's, because he's not going to forget what you called him and how you hit him in the gut or how you hit him in a juggler. But if you just have a healthy relationship with your partner, it's somebody that you love and you guys been knowing each other forever. So there should be a certain level of respect anyway. So even if you do have a disagreement, it doesn't mean that you have to hit below the belt. And, I was married for 20 years and I guarantee you, whenever I had an argument with my spouse, it wasn't really an argument. I'm talking to him just like I talk to you because I don't raise my voice. And that's one thing that you can learn how to do is keep the temperature down, is not to raise your voice and try not to get excited and just have a normal conversation, whatever the issue is. And I know sometimes, you get excited and they make you mad to the highest level of positivity, but it's something that you have to learn how to do. You have to learn how to have a debate versus an argument.
Right. And I'll say this, well, I'll ask this question to Urban. I'm gonna pose this question to Urban. Do you find it, because I know Vaughn has been with her significant other since they were in high school. I call it grade school, since they was kids. And so when you have that much history, you've pretty much dated this person from your vulnerable years, your young years up until adulthood. And a lot of times, even though you have that length of time, you still have a level of immaturity because you guys grew up together, right? And so sometimes it's hard to change because y'all have so much history, and it's history split between being young and, very, a matter of fact, and then being an adult. And y'all, it's a hard transition from trying to change that narrative. Me, I didn't marry my high school sweetheart. Most of the men that I dated when I was hot-headed, we didn't last. So when I got married, I was in a different headspace. I was in a different season of my life, and I was looking to be different, and so I brought something different. And Urban, I think that's kind of because you said you had a rocky first marriage, and then this new marriage was like a kind of like a metamorphosis or a new beginning for you.
Correct. I agree. And I also agree with that concept that when you be in a relationship with someone that long, that it have to be a lot of changes that take places. But even when them changes happen, both persons have to be willing to accept the change. There's some people in relationships, they don't even accept that. Once when that person starts changing, they say this: you're changing, you're different. I like how the way that you used to be. And that becomes a problem. Correct?
Exactly. And that's why, not to say that you guys have problems, because you said y'all cool. But, for people who may have been with someone for that length of time, from being youngsters to adulthood, it's a hard switch. And like Urban was saying, sometimes people can't make that transition, or one is trying to make the transition, the other one doesn't want to change anything, so it can cause problems.
Or they'll say that I'm afraid to change, because they're afraid of what's going to be the future. They're afraid of if they do change into this new person, then they're not going to be in love with the person that they originally fell in love with to begin with in the first place.
But what about grace? What about grace and waiting on the person to change?
See, that's a lie. But I'm gonna say this. I agree with Mr. Lounge, because as we've gotten older, I can honestly say I've learned a lot, and some things are a little scary, because it's like, now wait a minute, okay, I done got used to this, you done got used to this. Now we're getting older, and things, are literally changing. Kids are getting older, physical, mental, emotional things are changing. So I'll be honest and say if it's changing for the better, that's not scary. I guess what's more scary is, for me, I don't want anybody to, walk all over me. So that's just my thing, because how I look at it is, with men, you're not gonna play with me. So, when I hear, women, when I get advice, from my mother, elders, it's like, well, how do you become and I've heard, as you get older, you'll change. So, and I do see that I'm changing in ways, because if we, what is it? So 5 years ago, I would have just been like, no, that's soft, no. But because I now see that things in life can happen, where, he really, I think my mom said today, you know, black men, you know, they commit suicide and stuff. And it honestly, that alone made me think differently, because it's like, wait a minute, I never thought about it like that, you know, because he's not a crier, right? But if if there's a possibility that he doesn't feel safe with me, you know, and it's not my fault, but you know, because he was like this before, you know, we got together. But if his childhood was like that, and then the same with me, there's things in my childhood, you know, that, you know, I want to be able to feel safe too, right? If I'm not allowing that for him, then what does that say about me? That's literally what I've been thinking about all day since this conversation. Like,
have you guys ever talked about that? Have you ever asked him about that?
Yeah, the thing is, like SBK, he's not, you know, just this emotional person. You know, he doesn't, and I'm used to that. I'm actually okay with it, because I'm the one that's up in the air, and I thought that was our thing. You know, so it's like, but is this safe? Is this good? I'm gonna say it like this: is this good? Is it an act?
Is it healthy?
Is it healthy? Yeah, is it healthy? Because, you know, I had a conversation with my grandfather. He even had me looking at things differently. Like, y'all walk to the store and everything with, you know, with the kids, and I was on the phone with my mama, and I'm just thinking like, okay, you know, I'm open to this, but there is a fear too of not necessarily what about me, but is this gonna hurt me? Is this gonna backfire? Because, you know, my mother was like, you know, it causes you to be vulnerable. And I'm like, but I am vulnerable. And it's like, no, not if it'll make you uncomfortable. Because I'm being so honest when I say it's never happened. And to try and imagine it, it's like, well, that would be weird, because that's not him. So I'm gonna be honest and say, do I think, you know, like I said on my live, would I just bust out laughing? No, you know, but would I be what he needs in that moment? From what I know of myself, I don't think it would come naturally, because it's not something I'm used to. And if it's making me that uncomfortable, like I said, well, what does this say about me?
Well, let me ask you this. Because you've been with this person for what, 10 years, 11 years, you don't feel like do you feel like you really know your husband?
I'm gonna be honest and say, like when Mr. Lounge was asking, can you tell when your spouse is going through something? Yes, I know when he's sad, you know, like I know him. But do I feel like there's still things that we need to get to know about each other? Yeah, but I feel like that's with any relationship, especially because we've been together so long and we're both in a transitioning, you know, season with age and time, you know, and mental. So no, because I want to say, like when I started, you know, like going back to church and stuff, and we would have conversations about, you know, religion. He knew so much stuff that I didn't even know that he knew.
Yeah.
So how I look at it is, I've always known, you know, he grew up in church, you know, he sang in the choir, you know, he was, you know, really like a God-fearing man. But other than that, did I know the depth of his knowledge, you know, about the Bible and things like that? No, I did not, because we never really had those conversations, because I was a heathen, you know, and on top of that, I thought I knew everything. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, okay, wow. And I enjoy our conversations when we do talk like that, you know. So,
but that's not what I'm talking about.
What you talking about then?
Because those are just things that evolve, right? And it could be that he had all of that knowledge, and you're just he probably already, like you said, he already had it in him. You just weren't recognizing it because you were doing, you know, you were thinking about you. But what I'm asking is, and the reason why I'm asking this question, because I'm going to ask another question. It seemed like if you know his core value, right? You know him as far as his core values and what he would do and what he wouldn't do. And just like you said today, well, my husband don't do that. My husband don't cry. My husband is this and that and the other. So it sounds like you really kind of know his basic core value. And to me, with you knowing him from high school all the way up to now, to me it seemed like your journey should be easier rather than be harder, even if changes do occur, because you know that he really do love you on a certain level and you love him on a certain level, so everything else can be worked out, if I can put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
So don't you feel like it would be actually easier for you down the road, even if changes happen, because you know exactly where you stand when it comes to you, and he know where he stand when it comes to him.
That's a
pause. If I'm honest, I'm gonna say I don't know, because I'm still. I said what I said. I told you I'm on a spiritual journey, so I'm still unlocking doors about myself, and I'm gonna be honest and say I'm not sure, because I just realized today that I got a vulnerability problem. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say this, because I recognize that, I'm kind of wondering if there's anything else that I'm missing now. Does that make any sense?
Well, you're always going to be lacking something. I mean, that's human. Nobody is perfect, and you can't be perfect, and you can't just say, well, I'm going to cross this off and cross that off, and then I'll be all right, because life is not like that. Something may be thrown both of you guys' way that you never see coming, and you're going to have to learn how to deal with it or handle it. And I can't tell you what's going to happen, but anything can happen where you're where it kind of throw you off track, and you may have to deal with a situation that you didn't foresee coming. So it's not like you can predict the future. But what I'm basically saying is, it sounds like you have a core value, and you guys know each other core values when it comes to each other. So you should be able to work, everything else out, because of the core values, and because of the history, and because you know each other, and you have to have a certain level of respect for each other.
Right.
Which I hear you say you're working on.
Yeah, I don't see now. I don't know, because I don't know.
I said what I say. I think that in her situation, it's not going to be an easy transition. The reason why is because, like I stated earlier, the fear of the unknown. Even though she's aware of his core values and things that what they believe in, what they don't believe in, there's still that kind of vulnerability, fear of the unknown that's present. And so sometimes it takes one to just really go through that and master it. And when you're going through mastering something like that, it just takes time. It's not going to be a simple process. If you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Because in my mind, it's like I said, if I didn't, at the same time, I'm not gonna not give myself credit, because it's not like I'm just cold hearted around here, right? Like I said, people have died, he had tears, but it wasn't in the way, that I presented to y'all. Like, he's never just walked in the door and was having a bad day and busting the tears. So my whole thing is, well, did I make it okay for that to even happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at it differently. I see it, baby. I'm looking at it differently just based on that alone. Like, well, wait a minute. Was there a day where he, stood outside the door for 40 minutes and cried and I don't know about it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know these things, but one thing that's kind of pressing on me is what you said, Mr. Lounge, is safe space. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know in certain areas he's grown, to allow me a safe space, right? And I know this gonna sound selfish, but I'm being honest. I did not know that, he may need a safe space, because it's like, well, we've had this conversation, but I also know my husband. I told y'all, me and y'all lie about everything, right? So it's like, in my mind, well, how can I, rebuild this safe space so that he can feel comfortable, because I do want that for him, because he does provide it for me when it is needed. Is he perfect? No. But I can honestly say, if I was having a bad day at work and I came home in tears, I know he would be there for me. You know what I'm saying? But that, in my mind, he's only that way because he's learned that about me. He knows how to, say, okay, you're overstimulated, kids are getting on your nerves, you going through something, I got you. But has that ever happened on his end? No. Has he ever just walked through the door and cried? No. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put it to y'all like this. My grandfather said, just because I haven't had the experience doesn't mean that I shouldn't. And so I'm looking at it from that perspective of, what is it that I want in my marriage? And do I want, my husband to feel the same way I feel when it comes to this safe space?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is actually yes. Even though I still stand on some things, y'all. Okay, ain't no blubbering fools around here, right? No kids, no man, nobody.
We understand.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But I do think you do need to, it sounds like to me you guys really, there are some things that you may need to discuss. You may not know as much as you think you know, even though you've been in a relationship for a long time. When you said that you didn't know that this man knew Jesus until you've been with this man this long and you didn't know he knew Jesus. Okay.
Girl, he used to sleep in church. What you know about Jesus, okay? But he actually knows a whole lot, and it's much appreciated because people were saying, oh, your spouse, and people are gonna turn against you and all of this negative stuff. And don't get me wrong, y'all, he picks fun, but it's not detrimental. It's not real bad. It's just like, oh, you sound like church folks. But I understand that that's gonna come with the new Vaughn. That's how people are gonna feel even when I'm not speaking. I only have to say God and they're gonna hear God.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Y'all know the type of relationships that I admire a lot is when both couples are very transparent with each other, where they could just talk about anything. I mean, like anything, and it won't be triggering. It won't be none of that. That's the best way how you really, really get to know a person, is by being transparent with each other. But I learned this through experience and also being a man, is that when we share our experiences with women, sometimes it don't be that woman's expectation, or it don't be that woman what's the other word I'm looking for? Preference. Yeah, it don't be that one particular preference, especially when we initially dating that woman. So what we tend to do, we tend to just adapt and just let it go and just move on. Hence the situation with Jim with Vance. He may have one point in time mentioned about religion, and Vance was like, "Hey, now forget God. I'm turning up," and he just took it for what it was. Like, oh, all right, I ain't gonna say nothing else, but I still love you.
Yeah, men don't.
Yeah,
they don't reach back a lot. It's like when they allow vulnerability and it gets trampled on or it's not appreciated, they don't go backwards or try to try it again. It's not something that they're not built that way, if I can say it that way. It's kind of like you got a 1, maybe a 2, and that's about it. You got 1 time, maybe 2 times. But after that, they're not going to come back at you and be like, well, why? I've been trying to talk to you about this and I've been trying to be vulnerable like we do. We try to give 10, 20 times. Men don't do that.
That's because
I don't understand that.
We want the issue to be solved. So yeah, we're gonna revisit that issue until it gets solved. But men are not like that, like Urban and like you saying, they'll let it go and just say okay and move on to whatever's next.
Because like Urban, I think Urban
that's
said,
unhealthy.
SBK said they will choose their peace over anybody else's. So if they don't like, a lot of men don't like confrontation. They don't like to argue. They want their space, their home, or in the people that that they have close to them, they don't want friction. They just want to do what they need to do, come home and that's they sanctuary. That's their that's their peace, they safe space.
Especially with women. I disagree. I feel like, okay, I gotta be honest. I'm being honest again, y'all. Just hear me out. The same way we women fight for our relationships and we fight for our rights, and we stand up, okay? That's what men should do. Because if you ask me, how you gonna fix anything if you say something one time and that's it? What if I did that? I would be wrong, okay? I would be all types of, affectionate alienators and, witches and cold-hearted. She got ice in her veins and she soulless. They do all this stuff but it's okay for men to do. Then when we do it back or we give the same energy, we the problem. And it's like, but I'm only doing what you doing.
So let me clarify this, all right? So this is what we do. We're only talk about it one time in that particular moment and we'll let it go. But what we do is that we'll wait for you to mention about it again. We'll wait for you to revisit it, and we'll be more than willing to have the conversation with you when you're ready for that. That's typically what we do. Now, if you're still in that space to where you still don't want to have the conversation, we're fine with that. We're not going to force you. We're not going to say we got to talk about nothing like that. We're just going to let it go. We're going to go back to our peaceful spot and wait again.
That is so
How
true.
is any of this healthy though? I'm so confused. To me, that sounds like emotional and mental abuse and withholding information, which is also a lie. Okay, and
absolutely. I am glad that you said that, because that's exactly how men feel about when women does that to us. We absolutely feel that way, because at the end of the day, we do be wanting the problem to be resolved right then and there. But when women be in their emotional state, they don't want the problem to be resolved. They're not looking for resolution. They're just only looking to be heard, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And so when we start giving out solutions to the problem, they don't want to hear it. They're like, well, you're not on my side. You're not listening to me. You're not doing this or that. So we bad back and say, okay, go ahead and talk. I'll listen. That's it. All right, bet. We'll revisit another day when you're ready to get it resolved.
You're going to have to get that who's right and who's wrong out.
I said, okay, look.
But hold on. Let me land the plane.
Okay, go ahead.
I keep hearing you say, that's not right. That's wrong. And you're going to have to, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about coming to an agreement. You understand what I'm saying? Because it sounds like that you just, it's like it's this way or it's that way. And really it's supposed to be in the in-between way. You have to give sometime, and you have to, sometimes you'll give and sometimes you have to get. Sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. You got to learn how to pick your battles, and you can't win every battle. And you sound like I used to be. I wanted to win every battle. I did. I wanted, because I felt like my way was just the right way, and whatever he was saying, he was wrong. And that's what we do as young women. We think we know a lot, and we think what we're saying is absolutely right. And sometimes we're not right about everything. Sometimes the man actually do have the answer. So, and it's all about trust as well. You got to be able to trust what he's telling you and be able to stand on it, hold him up and trust what he say and do it his way sometimes. And you'll learn that along the way.
All I'm hearing is I'm always going to be the one being the bigger person. That's all I'm hearing. I just got to be honest.
No, because he's being the bigger person, is he not?
How he being the bigger person?
Because he's letting you have your tantrums, and he's basically letting you have your way. He basically let you win the argument so he can keep his peace.
I said what I said. You're supposed to be on my side, okay?
I am
it's
on
not
your
a tantrum.
See, there you go again. It's not about sides. It's not about sides. It's about coming together.
All Von's heard was wonk, 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 wonk. I want my way.
I'm just being honest and saying, I understand what y'all saying. And I told y'all, okay, I ain't wrapped too tight, okay? I didn't have therapy. I need to go back, clearly. But listen,
no
okay?
woman under 40 is wrapped right. So you're not in a league by yourself. What you say, Missy?
I said she's still feisty.
Yeah, you're still feisty. Calm down. You'll be okay. But we're just trying to, give you a few nuggets. And it's not about you being wrong or right.
And then to be fair, most men don't think about it being right or wrong. All they be thinking about is trying to resolve the situation. And so wherever way we can do it, we're gonna do it. It's like, to us, it's like playing chess. We know sometimes in order to win, it's good for you to lose. And that's what we do.
I mean, I understand that concept, to a certain degree. I got to, like I said,
well, of course you do.
I mean, yeah, because I want to be the one, who, I'm gonna say this. I don't like being the one in the wrong. Meaning, I gotta do all this apologizing and making up because I did something wrong. I don't like being in that position. Okay, I can't stand it, because to me that's like kissing your butt. And he always say, "See, that's your problem. That's your problem." And it's like, but you're not gonna play with me though.
But isn't that what I just said?
You did.
You still trying to win arguments.
There you go.
What?
You still trying to win arguments. You're not trying to be understood. You trying to win. That's not. Again, you just in that season. When you get into the season of you want peace, you want to do life with that person, you don't want to always, it's not always about winning arguments. It's not always about going back and forth with your significant other. Hopefully you'll get to that point. That's all I want to say. Hopefully you'll get to that point.
And all I can say is the battle is not yours, baby. It's the Lord's. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
That ain't what you said. That's what Yolanda Adams said. Stop it.
I understand that. That's what you need to remember.
For sure. And you going to church, so you learning these things. Hopefully you're going to get around some. Now, I'm going to say this. Lord, forgive me. Just because they in church, don't mean you need to listen to everybody, okay? Listen for wisdom.
Oh, I know. They ain't going to have me trapped. They ain't going to have me in those. I already know, okay? You certain things, just know. Because they're supposed to stay fast and pray through whatever. And I'm just not the one. Okay, no.
Yep.
Don't be running up down there to that aisle talking about you need to, you got a testimony or you trying to confess something.
Yeah.
Hey, I said what I said the same as that thing on her panel too. Shout out to her.
Thank you, Urban.
That's your second one for today. You're not getting no more this month, all right?
Well, listen, it's not going to my head. Trust me. So go ahead. So go ahead and wag your tail all you want to, Urban. I'll take it.
Not wag my tail, dang.
Okay, shake your tail feather.
He said, Swan Gorilla said, "Ain't no Lord forgive me, E. Everybody in church ain't right." I mean, yeah, you do go to church, but you ain't right. But some of them, they still in their old ways.
Right.
They gonna take that bone. That dog gonna take that bone somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you just gotta be mindful of that.
And just the main thing, just keep everything at home, unless it's just something that you can't handle, and just let, as long as you have your mom, let her be your confidant and your guide, your mom and, your grandparents, the ones that you trust the most, You know, you just don't have to have the whole family in your business or whatever. But you know, if you can handle it on your own, I wholeheartedly say don't even have your mom in it. You know, try to resolve your issues yourselves.
Right. I will say this. I broke up with everybody today though, because you don't get too many chances to tell me I'm wrong. You know, you got to tell me I'm right first. And my mama told me I was wrong today.
So we still broke up.
We still broke up. I said, I broke up with everybody there. SBK.
I'm not gonna be like Jim. I'm not
Loud.
crying. I'm not gonna send no
I wasn't even here earlier.
Listen, I ain't sending you no flowers, no candy, no nothing. I'll be like Jim. I'll just sit back and wait on you.
Hey, I don't know why. I don't know why the hell she telling me this. We've been broke up for almost like 2 years or so.
Look, Mr. Lounge, Mr. Lounge snapped. He said, "See, this is why you supposed to vet people out." I'm like, he know who I am. Like, what's going on?
I stand by that too.
You do need to vet. You know, I'm quite sure if you had to do, let me not say quite sure. If you had it to do over again, would you have done some things a little bit different with the man you with now? Would you have asked some questions? That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this because, and it's not all bad when I say I would do things different. It's just my attitude, period. Because, like I said, when I learned in therapy, you know, that some things was just not normal. It was like, oh wait, okay, you know. So that's why, you know, when I hit y'all, I was like, you know, I know I'm the problem in certain situations. You know, there is no I'm just in the dark. You know, at the same time, there are still some things that I just don't understand. And it's like, and my biggest thing is the what was this last Sunday? When I was like, wait a minute, what is this, you know, man thing that you're talking about? Because and I do mean no woman that I've ever spoke to, you know, broke it down like that. So it hit different. Even my therapist have said it, but I didn't hear him. I heard you because it was like, okay, I've heard, you know, you don't talk to no man like that, but it was how you presented it. Like, you're not going to get what you want. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, why not? You know, I'm communicating, I'm being honest and open. You know, what more else is there to do? And then, like, you know, I even admitted, okay, I say things differently, but I might roll my eyes or something. You know I got work to do. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's like, I need to see some results, you know? But I can understand if the door is closed, because there are certain doors for me that, you know, are closed too. So I get it. You know, so listening to other people, you know, single or not, you know, in y'all's opinion, it does help, you know, no matter who I'm talking to, because it gives me a different, you know, and today really shocked me because I'm like, now, wait a minute. Okay. I didn't talk to 3 men. Okay. 4 men on live and 4 men, you know, in real life, and everybody say it's okay to cry. Even my brother said it's nothing wrong with you. You just need to be by yourself. And I'm like, but I listen to you cry. Okay, but he like, no, sis, no. Okay, and I'm like, okay, all right. So it should be, you know, a safe space. And you know, when Mr. Lounge and Lion will be saying, you know, I just be blowing them off. Like, what is y'all talking about? You know, y'all, we do care about y'all mental health, but I guess you could say I've learned, you know, I can be gentler, and that's not something I even ever thought about. You know, like I'm gonna be gentle in tone, but you know, does my heart need to be a little bit more open? Okay, I can go with that. You know, I can see that different. You know, because you do want your spouse. I'm gonna just say this. I know if I walk through the door and I fall apart, he gonna catch me. You know, he's learned me all these years and all this time, and if we gonna spend another 11 years, you know, it should be okay for him to do the same. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. There is nothing wrong with that.
Vance, I know good and damn well you're not going to catch your husband. Your husband's a big dude, man. You ain't going to catch him if he falls. Stop that.
Hush, Mr. Lyle.
And one thing I like about you, though, you do take accountability. And so as long as you can take accountability for your own actions, you should be okay. And like I said, you're still pretty young, though. You know a lot to be your age. but you're still pretty young. And a lot of this stuff just comes with time.
Correct.
I can't stress that enough, you know, and forgive yourself. You said, you told, I'm listening to you, and you said you spent the whole day thinking about this. And you know, yeah,
I said what I said. I was just in awe. I'm like, this the
right.
lounge up here. You know, you got light Von, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it tickled me. I was cracking up, and my mama wasn't laughing, and I said, she really yelling at me. And she wasn't yelling at me, y'all, but she was like, you do. She said it. She was asking me questions. I said I ain't answer. She said, cause you know I'm gonna say you need to go back to therapy. I'm like, wait, what? Like, this is real. Like, we not playing. This ain't going how I thought it was gonna go. So, you know, and y'all look, she chimed my granddaddy in, okay? Because, you know, she was like, call. And then my grandma texted me, Jesus wept. I said, Lord, it's them. Y'all the problem. It's y'all. Because this can't be, this can't be, you know, real.
Well, you can wait a minute. You can waddle all day, but make sure you forgive yourself tomorrow. Don't.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, don't do it too long.
Right. Yeah, I said what I said. I ain't no angel now. Okay.
Were you coming from a place where you didn't forgive yourself, or you just, you know, you didn't realize that's the way you?
Y'all want me to be honest? Things? Okay, so I called my mama to clown Mr. Lounge and all the other crime men. Honest to God, I did, and she wasn't going. And when my mama not going, I know it's a problem, because, you know, she a thug too now. Okay. And then I even told her, I'm disappointed to find out you ain't a thug no more, you know, because she's saved now too. But apparently, even when she wasn't saved, she still held crying men. And it was just like, I can't handle this, because, you know, you the thug in my life. And if you like this, then that means I'm capable of being like this too. And even though I ain't never experienced it, I at least know that it's optional. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's possible. You know, I'm not doomed. You know what I'm saying? Because me and my mama, we kiki. And when she wasn't kikiing, I got upset. Because something ain't right. Something's not right.
Let me do a check-in with SBK. SBK, you okay?
Nah, buddy has sleep. He has sleep. That alcohol wearing off.
I don't know if he's asleep or he full or what's going on, but things don't look right over there.
He need a wellness check. He need a wellness check like there ain't nothing. I told you our mental health is important. I told you our mental health is important.
Hey, Urban. Hey,
now, see, Urban. Now, see, SBK, I was checking on your mental health, and I don't even really
see what I'm saying? Like that. There's a breakthrough. There's a breakthrough.
I'm telling you, out here doing the Lord's work.
We out here doing the Lord's work, man.
I'm doing the Lord's work also, Lord. If that's the case.
I said what I said. Don't join them. Don't join with them. Stay on my side.
I'm still on your side. It's always gonna be girl code, but I just want to check on my bro, because bro was looking like, oh, you know,
he
like
got to fall
out of there, yeah. And I don't know if he's sleepy or if he don't finish that glass up he had or what. Too. I don't know what's up.
It's all of the above.
Yeah, because he was gulping it. He wasn't sipping it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, she's paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Vance, check this out. Now, earlier on your show, right, you went on a whole monologue. And I had asked you in the chat, hey, you dropped the link today or what? This girl almost darn me cussed me out. So I ain't dropping no link. I ain't doing blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, bet.
Tell me she worse than me?
Yeah, yeah. Finally,
you know, she ad hominem queen.
Mm-hmm. She finally gave in and dropped the link, and look at her, man. I'm telling you, God be working in mysterious ways, because the conversation needed to be heard. Vance went and shared the conversation with her family giving her feedback, and look at God just changing lives.
Look at God.
Now, see,
shaking my head.
Now, I don't treat my guests like that. I try to be nice to my guests. I don't holler and scream at them. And if they ask for the link, I just let them have it. And then I sit back like SBK. And I said what I said.
I said what I said.
No, don't you say I'm over exaggerating. She did. She went off on me. And that's what I'm telling you about our mental health, man. Made me feel some type of way. I felt so low just by asking for a link.
You just milking it because everybody done found, they see my true colors. So now you wanna, and I said that in the live too. I said what I said. I said, they see my true colors. They see it. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it. Right. I felt it. I said, watch what's gonna happen.
Well, you stay true to the game, sis. Don't you let them. Don't fall for that. You stay true to the game.
That's the truth.
I'm gonna be honest now.
You should be, and I mean, like everyone is saying on here, you have a lot of women your age, young ladies, they do not receive these types of talking points well. They would have jumped out the window by now.
And call me Miss E or some old bees.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, I'm gonna say this. I'm not disrespectful like that. In the past, however, I probably really would be mad at everybody right now. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I wouldn't be on this live. I'd be done blocked my mama, even though I know she wasn't gonna call me anyway, because it ain't like she gonna, come saying, well, just talk to me. Broke up with my grandparents because everybody just against me. Okay, everybody y'all just don't like me. That's what I would have came up with. However, okay, my granddaddy hit me, where it hurts the most, and you save now, so you supposed to be changing. Okay, you're supposed to be the same. And I thought about that, like, you know what? I think he got a point, because what I really was hearing was heart and heart. I kept hearing that. So I'm like,
I've really learned a lot from you and Vaughn, and I said what I said, Urban. I've really learned a lot. Because remember now, I am not a married man, never been married. So I'm learning. All right. I'm learning from all of you, all four of y'all. All right. So Vaughn is not the only one that's, she's a married young lady. I have never been married. So I'm asking questions. I'm learning. So we're all learning. We're never too old to learn. So we're learning. I'm learning. I want y'all to understand that. I want the chat to understand. I am learning. What to do, what not to do, how to handle it, so forth and so on. You know what I mean? So let me
I look forward to seeing y'all in 5 years. Where y'all at? Vaughn.
They'll be around. Vaughns will be around.
Because you taking it, you laughing, but you absorbing information.
She really is.
You're not throwing it away. You actually processing information that's being given to you. So I look forward to seeing where you guys are in 5 years.
And in the next 5 years, she's gonna be like, yeah, y'all, he was crying on me, and I had to understand, y'all. I understand.
And I'm
gonna say this. Crying together.
I had to get some tissue and lean my shoulder to it, and it felt weird at first. And then I just went ahead and gave in, and like Urban said, we just start crying together.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna say this: if in 5 years I done did all this, and he get upset and he decides to leave me or I leave him, I'm gonna come back and tell y'all, I told y'all letting these men cry ain't no good idea. I'm gonna come back to this live. Matter of fact, I'm gonna save this live in my archives just in case. Okay. And whether he cry, okay, whether he never, whatever happens, okay, whatever moment is the best moment or the worst one, I'm gonna come back and tell y'all, I told y'all was sending me off.
Well,
I should have blocked y'all. That's what I'm
really got an answer for you. He wasn't the one for you then, if that's the case.
I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna be like, Vaughn, now when he cried, did you throw that shit back in his face at some point? Did you throw it back in his face? I just want to know.
And you can't hold water, so you gonna tell us.
I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm be like, well, see, look, y'all, this what happened, and I'm be like, we just shouldn't talk about this because y'all gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna say it just like that.
Damn.
So that tripping, I'm gonna have a whole show, and I'm gonna title Modern Day Woman Vaughn's
Lord have mercy. I can
5
see
years
it.
later.
Don't do me like that. Don't do Miss Blanche, I might be down bad. I might be down bad, and you gonna cause my mental health to just crash. You gonna have me crash out, go back to being evil. You don't want that. You don't want that.
I know this therapy. That lie gonna be straight therapy. Yeah, we gonna get you right back in shape all over again.
He could be tilting his head and looking sideways and giving you to spit out that information.
Hey, the reason why I do that is because I have 3 monitors and I'll be looking at different monitors, y'all. That's why.
Oh, okay. It make you look sketchy. I'm just saying.
What the?
Y'all crazy.
Y'all see this one I'm talking about this mental health. I always be trying to emasculate people. You look sketchy. You look sassy. I'm looking at the monitor, woman.
You be looking at that monitor hard. You be looking like you staring in the soul of the modern day woman. Like I'm gonna reach you. You gonna understand what us men are going through. You gonna change.
When you look straight ahead,
absolutely.
You're definitely talking to your audience. But when you looking at the monitors, it looks, you be tilted at head, looking sketchy. So I still be trying to take in the information.
Hilarious. Let me play a couple commercials, y'all, and then I want y'all's final words. And so,
commercials.
knew you was gonna do that. Looky.
Shaky.
Looky.
Shaky.
2 cents, you called it.
What's up?
What's going on?
Nothing much. How y'all doing?
You popped out the bushes.
Well, you know, we recorded a little late, so I got on a little late. Hey, I said what I said. What's happening?
Uh-oh.
You got it.
There we go.
We was getting ready to end it, and then you come up.
Hey, don't let me hold y'all.
No. Go ahead. Go.
We gotta let you.
We gotta let you get off what you want to get off.
Exactly.
Oh no, I was just getting on real quick. I was watching a couple of comments, and I was kind of addressing a little bit of what Vaughn said because we was talking about it, past episode. You know that just from a man's perspective, because we talking about vulnerability. And I think from a man's perspective, I can't speak on anybody else's perspective. I'm speaking on the perspective of a black man because that's what I am. I can only speak from the perspective of, we don't have those safe spaces, and we don't have a lot of times those places that we can be vulnerable. And so we do tend to look for them in the relationship. So when it comes to, an intimate relationship, you do look to have those things in that intimate relationship. And just as we talked last time on it, once you feel, as a black man, once you feel like that trust and that vulnerability has been taken advantage of or dismissed, you probably won't get it again.
Bonds. I love playing with bonds.
I still say that is unhealthy. Okay, if you got a problem, say something. Okay, remind me, reiterate. I still stand on that. However, okay, y'all men have a different language that I'm gonna keep it real and say I used to just think it was all manipulation and just so that y'all can have the power. But I guess what I've learned in the past few days, months, years is that men have walls that they put up to, and just like women. And if you're the cause of that wall, or even you play a part in it, because like I said, the wall can come from childhood. It is our responsibility as women to peel back the layers like we would want a man to do when he causes us harm. If he's willing to recognize, okay, I've hurt you and I'm gonna do this, then as women we do have to recognize that y'all got feelings too. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't like it. Okay, I think it's a little strange.
Well, I get why you don't like it, and let me give you a little bit of a different perspective.
You gonna talk about me too? Okay, I'm listening.
No. I'm not gonna talk about you at all. I'm just gonna give you a different perspective because you're seeing it from the lens of where you stand, and I'm gonna give it to you from the perspective of where we stand. As a black man in society, we are told from a early age, and I believe that my brother SBK and Urban can attest to this. We are told at a very young age that emotions are bad from the standpoint of you can't show them. It's a sign of weakness. It's you're soft, or a man is supposed to be, we're not supposed to cry, or we're not supposed to have those feelings. And so from you got to understand that is a breeding. That is something that we were brought up with. So you can say, hey, I think that's weird, and I think you should be able to express that, and you're responsible for that. And yes, we are responsible for that. But at the same time, you got to understand, coming from the background, like we were taught that was a bad thing. And so a lot of us do not have the emotional intelligence in our older age or in our grown age, because understand of how we were raised, that wasn't how we were raised. So just shedding light on it on a little bit of a different perspective.
I totally agree.
I got you.
Now, Bonds, I will say this. I see a I don't want to say a shift, but I see that you have it's just like if I have a point of view about something, I'm speaking by myself. If I have a point of view about something and I see other people's point of view, my point of view somewhat seems to be like, I see what they're saying. You know what I mean? I see what they're saying. And what they're saying somewhat kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? So, y'all go sub up the Vaughn. Go sub up the Vaughn, man. Go sub up the Vaughn, man. Because, man, Vaughn, I will say this, man. I all BS aside, for you to be as young as you are, and for you, I've seen the people in your chat, and Urban, you can attest to this. Vaughn can hold a crowd, and Vaughn can, you know what I'm saying? Vaughn is on her way to being, you know, something in these YouTube streets. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I've seen 40, 50, 60, 70 people in her chat before. You know what I mean? I've seen it. You know what I mean? And she just in there just going strong, you know, just talking away, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so it's great to see different perspectives, you know what I'm saying? It really is. It's great to see different perspectives. And so you are always welcome to speak your mind. Don't ever think. I don't know what other chats doing. I just say it, you know, I know with Urban, I believe with Urban, myself, tap in, you're welcome to speak your mind over here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have to say about that. And that's all I got to say about that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
you know he's talking half sleep.
Yes, I do. I've been seeing them nodding and slobbing and dreaming.
Okay. Everybody knows now, SBK. You can't hide it, bro.
We all know.
You can't hide it.
Y'all know shit. Okay?
We know. We know.
Oh shit. Okay. Another good content. Great content creator. I said what I said. What are your last words, man? What do you have to say? I want you to shout out your channel, what you got going on. The floor is now yours.
Well, my channel is I Said What I Said. And right now I'm on my Black Panther kick about all this injustice in America and the things that's going on. So I do a lot of shorts, a lot of political shorts. I did a political live last week, and I don't do too many lives that's political because not that many people really interested in it, but I still do them from time to time. And most of the content is about Shirley Strawberry's husband, which is true crime because he's in jail. So we're basically following that case, and basically I just do a lot of shorts and videos and do those lives, you know. And sometimes I'm following true crime court cases also, because I'm following the Rodney Hinton case also. So that's what I have going on with my channel. So feel free to come by, subscribe. I actually have panels like this also, so I'll definitely let you come up on the panel and we can chit chat and chop it up.
Facts. Y'all go subscribe up to I Said What I Said. Little bro, the floor is yours. The floor is yours, little bro. What you got going on with the 2 Cents podcast? Tell us what you got going on. Y'all go subscribe up to my little bro and his podcast and his sidekick X. They go live every week. Just
Not
about every
sidekick.
week.
That's my brother. You can't call him a sidekick.
Your sidekick.
That's my brother.
Yeah, man. So go ahead, man. Brother from another mother.
Yeah, y'all know what it is. I mean, you can catch us at the 2 Cent You Call This podcast, where you can agree with us, you can disagree with us, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. At the end of the day, we just gonna give y'all our 2 cents on it. I mean, it's really like, tell everybody our podcast is a little different because we've been friends a long time, and you literally hear it's something that it's honestly therapy for us that's just kind of displayed on camera. It's our friendship and how we interact on a regular basis. So that's all we can really give to you. Lately it's been a lot of mental health talks, just because, just as I was saying on this panel earlier tonight, I think that in the Black community, first of all, we don't talk about, and then in addition to that, as Black men, we don't talk about it enough. So a lot of it's lately been, just talking about how we're affected in everyday life as Black men.
Thanks. Y'all go subscribe up to them, man. Great content. Content. All right, Bonds. The floor is now yours, ma'am. Y'all go subscribe up to Von's Reality. Tell us what you got going on with your channel, ma'am. And the floor is now yours.
I mean, y'all know what y'all gonna get. Whatever comes to my mind for the day. Not too consistent of anything. I like to talk. Everybody's welcome to the panel as long as you're respectful. I might come off a little shy, the first time you hit the link, because I have to start, telling the truth, y'all. I could be a lot. Okay, I'm not for everybody. But I do, and I will, and I am open to any kind of conversation, just as long as everybody's respectful, and that's it. So that's all I'm doing over there. Whatever.
Great. Absolutely. All right, Urban. Sub up to my bro Urban Lounge podcast. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Salute. So, first of all, I do want to give a shout out to my daughter, man. She was competed out there in Disney last week, and that's why I said out in Florida, supporting her. In her division, there's a total of 20 teams in the one cheerleader division, and she finished second place, winning a silver medal for a team. We all honestly thought that her team should have finished first place. Even the spectators and everybody was saying that she should have finished first place, but that's neither here nor there, But I'm very proud of her. I'm proud of the work that her and the team did during the cheerleader competition. Everything was good on that part, and also spend time with the family as well too. It's a well needed mini vacation. For the family and for myself as well too, because y'all know I'll be going hard if I'm not doing the podcast. I'm DJing. If I'm not DJing, I'm working. So that's what I'm doing. So it was a well-needed vacation. I enjoyed it a whole lot. And for us, the podcast itself, we will be kicking content off starting next week. So make sure that y'all have y'all notifications set for the things that I'll be talking about, because I got a lot of stuff I'm gonna be talking about. A whole lot of stuff where people gonna be triggered like usual.
As usual. Go ahead, sis.
I ain't got much. We got Disrupt and Discuss. That's my other baby in the cradle that I'm rocking right now. Health and wellness. We got more coming every Wednesday. We upload every week, every Wednesday morning. You guys check us out. We are talking about, I think we just wrapped up the spring. our spring edition. And we're going to be coming with some more stuff, more health, more scientific stuff, and more mental health stuff. So that's just like I get to talk about other things other than effery or dating. So that's my other side. I love talking about fitness. I love talking about wellness. I love talking about helping us be fit, living longer, living better lives, things like that over there at Disrupt and Discuss. So definitely check that out. I am on my 3rd video for the new It's Just E channel. So I'm not going to put it out until I get to 5 videos, y'all. 5 videos. So y'all can have something to watch. So once I'm done doing that, and then I'll be able to, let you guys know about the other It's Just E TV channel. But shout out to y'all. Thank you guys so much for coming out and kicking it with us. I have enjoyed this conversation thoroughly. The last few conversations have been very influential, very eye-opening, and very encouraging to say the least, because we have people that are actually listening, and we're not listening to just respond. We're actually hearing that and having a dialogue. So I appreciate y'all for coming out and kicking it with us and doing these lives with us. It's greatly appreciated all the time. SBK, what you got?
Okay, well, since Mother's Day is Sunday, I will not be going live Sunday. So happy Mother's Day to all of the ladies on the panel. Everybody listening, happy Mother's Day to you guys. But the plan is to go live tomorrow. So I might go live around 7:45 tomorrow for a little bit and just kick it. So I'm just going to have an open panel. We're just going to be shooting the bull. Nothing in particular. But till next week, I got we'll go live Sunday next week. I couldn't go live last Sunday, man. I had a lot of stuff going on at work. And by the time I would have got it, I would not have been ready to go live. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have been mentally or physically capable of going live. I still haven't recovered from my daughter's prom and the funeral and all that stuff, man. I haven't got any proper rest or anything like that. You know what I mean? So, but tomorrow, y'all stay tuned. Like I said, I'm not going live tomorrow, but I'm just going to shoot the breeze with you guys. We're going to talk about any and everything under the sun. So stay tuned tomorrow, 7:45 on the SBK channel. And that's about it. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's up.
I got a question.
I got to answer.
SBK, when's the next time you doing the ladies panel? Because the conversation of what was the question?
Oh yeah.
When next time you doing that?
Well, here's what I plan on doing. I want to do now. I want to do another ladies panel, but the next plan is I'm glad you mentioned that. Great question. The next plan is to have a dual panel of women and men. All right, that's the next plan. We're gonna have it this month, not next week, but probably the week after next. All right, so I'm gonna start promoting for that. So we're going to have a dual panel of women and men. All right. So everybody who is listening to the sound of my voice, you're welcome to come on. All right. And we're going to be probably reacting to what you guys said on my panel, every panel, and we're just going to have a ball and just be ready. Bonds, I said what I said. Urban, 2 Cent, Gorilla, y'all be ready. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have questions. Of course, I'm going to give y'all, look, I'm going to play the devil's advocate in every situation that I host these panels. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to give yes, I'm always going to give thought-provoking questions.
Quit getting too close to the devil now.
Yep. So to answer your question, Vons, I am going to have another ladies panel, but before I do all that, I'm gonna have a dual panel. You know, I've had an all men's panel.
Okay.
I had all men's panel. That did very well, but the all ladies panel did great. So, but this next time, probably week after next, we're gonna be promoting the a mixture panel of men and women. And so you guys get ready to come up. We're going to be reacting to all of this that we're talking about and other things and in between. So that is that wonderful question. Great question. So that's what's going on. I had that in mind, but that's what we're going to do. You know, I mean, we talked about it behind the scenes. Urban, myself, you know, 2 Cents, he's ready, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to do that. You know what I mean? So every man at the sound of my voice, every lady at the sound of my voice, you're welcome to come on. All women and all men. You know what I'm saying? That's challenge each other. Let's have thought-provoking conversations. I believe that this one is going to be epic. This last women's panel that I had, that y'all had it lit. Bonds, I said what I said. Joe, Queen the Queen. Who else was up on there? I forget. Roe was up there. We had it lit.
T-Cat.
DR.
Yeah, DR.
Yeah, DR.
Yeah, we had it lit. You know what I mean? Miss Coco, BX. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to start promoting that now. And leading up until, you know, it's not going to happen this, you know, next week, but probably week after next. So we're going to start promoting that now. So y'all be ready. It's going to be lit. Y'all think that the all ladies panel and all men's panel, this one right here is going to be lit. I can't wait.
Lord.
I can't wait.
I'm only coming if I said what I said coming. I ain't coming by myself.
Listen at you.
I look, I'm going to say this and I'm going to drop.
Well, I'll think about it, Vaughn.
Wait, no, wait. Okay, see, nope, I'm not coming. If she's thinking about it, I'm not. But I just want to say I was not expecting, you know, and I'm gonna keep it real, SBK. Where I come from, people play my videos, I strike them because they be clowning me. So I'm not used to this. Okay, I just gotta keep it real. I only had a couple videos, you know, where people, you know, was listening to me and it was some, you know, not so bad, right? But I was not expecting this. I am going to listen to the replay, but I just want to say I appreciate y'all so much because I have told people to come listen to y'all that y'all have grown people conversation. And even though I didn't know y'all so well, you know, it's actually nice to know that y'all are grown and y'all do know how to have grown people conversations and y'all aren't being judgmental. And y'all are a lot like myself, you know, y'all can pick fun and not get upset or triggered, you know, and it turns into a whole beef. I love that. And I respect y'all for that. And I thank y'all for allowing me up on your panel and just being cool people. I really like that. And I rock with y'all the long way. Y'all got me, okay? I ain't going to, even though I'm still not coming nowhere unless I said what I said come. Okay. But
I know you probably have PTSD from other chats and stuff like that going after it. That's not going to happen over here. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen over here because I honestly know how you feel when it comes to that. You know what I mean? People, you know,
believe it or not.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen at all because he can attest to this, or he can tell all of y'all, man. We've been through some stuff, or whatever, and some BS, and I'll never go through that again. You know what I mean? Never. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'll never go through that again. And because of that, he and I move a certain way. We move differently. We move consciously. You know what I'm saying? We consciously do things on purpose. And whether it's here or on my channel, I'm not going to have any type of nonsense. You know what I mean? So, but any and everybody's welcome, and all opinions are welcome. You know what I'm saying? We just keep it respectful. You know what I'm saying? And knocking on wood, that's what's been happening. You know what I mean, for the past year.
Look, you ain't got to worry about me because I really don't get offended I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a firecracker, but not like that, because I really enjoy
You're a
people. I really enjoy people, and I like being cool. But it's like sometimes people, I mean, don't get me wrong. Have I ticked people off? People tick me off, yeah. But I don't get. I have not sensed that vibe from y'all, and I was just being, cautious, because, like I said, I ain't know y'all, I don't know y'all. But it's like every time I come over here, y'all cool, and Mr. Lounge rock with y'all, and y'all rock with him. And I'm gonna keep it all the way honest and say that's the only reason I kept coming, because I'm like, I know Mr. Lounge ain't with all that, stuff either. So it's like, if he cool, and he's big on vetting folks out, he ain't gonna get into no nonsense. It's obviously cool. So yeah.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
no, as Mr. Lounge has said, there's no beef, there's no money or no growth in beefing with people. There's no, absolutely no kind of
Right.
growth in that at all. And like I said, I've been in the middle of some stuff, and I haven't even been involved. I wasn't even involved, but I was a part of a group, so to speak, and that was a disaster. And so he and I decided to part ways, and that was the best decision that we ever made. So and we grew, you know what I mean? So, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about nothing like that over here, man, because it's just, we just we're just we promote each other. There's no hatred over here. There's no hated. I like what my bro 2 Cents says. What's special about over here? Everybody might have a difference of opinion, but everybody walks away with respect in the end. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on, with that. But great question though. And man, Bonds, I said what I said. Y'all better
They gonna be there. They gonna be there. Y'all gonna have to represent. Y'all gonna have to represent the ladies. Y'all represent the ladies well.
For real. For real.
I'll see if I have any other engagements, and if not, then I'll try to make it.
Love her, y'all.
You see how she did that?
Okay. Like I gotta check my calendar.
Check I said,
she be busy. She be busy.
Engagements, I'll make a consideration.
I really do be busy though, for real. But
okay.
I carve out the time that I want to carve out. I rock with y'all. I don't know how in the hell I found y'all, but I like y'all and I rock with y'all. And so I don't know if it was Urban
I think
or
the common denominator is Urban
or Vaughn. No, it could have been Alice also.
I think it was. I know it was Mr. Lounge for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Urban or Alice. It was one of them. But
I'm gonna say this.
I don't know why it's so hard for you to admit that I brought you over here.
Well, hey, Mr. Urban brought me over here. Well, my name ain't no Mr. Urban brought me over here because I'm older than him, so that's Vaughn's thing. So Urban probably brought me over here more than likely. And so if it's Urban, it's Urban. Hey, it is what it is. But whatever it is, I like y'all, and I like y'all. See, I be rocking with y'all all the time. Yeah, and I was looking for y'all last Friday. Like, where they at? I thought they was gonna come on Friday night. So actually, I don't know how this is happening, but I be looking for Urban too. And I saw he was at Disney World last week.
Oh, I'm hollering.
I'm like, when is Urban gonna come back? I was like, when is Urban gonna bring his butt back from Disneyland? It's time for him to come back on. Yeah, so I was kind of actually watching him and the kids at Disney World. At Disney, what is it? With Disneyland or World?
At Disney World.
You were at Disney World? Yeah. So I saw you at the table, and I don't know if I said hi to you or whatever, but I saw you at Disney World with the kiddos.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, E, we gotta you look at the giveaway.
Hmm?
The giveaway.
Oh, I didn't do one. Hold on.
What I said, what I said, gonna win. I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
SBK. When I first saw your name, SBK, and I saw it said Silverback King, I just knew you was a clapback dragon. I was like, no, I'm staying far away. I just knew it. It was like Silverback King. That sounds like somebody that just get all. No, he ain't gonna never stop dragging you. He gonna talk about you day in, and then it was like, wait, oh, he a teddy bear. Oh, okay. Then it was like I'm like, oh, okay, you know, oh yeah. Oh no, it was just y'all names. No, okay, for you, I'm gonna be honest. It was your persona. It was like she seemed like she not too nice. And then it was like, wait a minute, she always smiling and she's so sweet. But you know, like SBK said, I see that thug in you, you know.
Yeah,
so it was like, okay, she cool. Okay, I like that. You know, and I want to say I was listening to y'all one night, and I think y'all was talking about something about cars. Y'all was talking about cars or something. And I was like, oh yeah, she real cool. So that's what made me like you, because you know, I'm gonna keep it real and say, like I said, I like people. I love women. You know, I like to get along with women. So I be like, you know, cautious. You know, because people be funny, and I like to get, you know, cool with people, and then it be like, oh, you don't like me, and then my feelings be hurt. So, but it was like they keep inviting me. You know, oh, you know, hey Vaughn. It's like, oh, they cool. Okay, I can get jiggy with this. I can get jiggy. So yeah. I just had to tell y'all that.
It was those streets that you was in. You just bringing the heat from your past streets.
Right. It was like let me shake the devil off. You know, let me get around some grown people, okay?
Because I thought none of that when I saw both of them. I thought none of that. Now I'm gonna tell you.
Really?
Yeah, I thought none of that. I thought both of them were very hospitable and very nice people.
Thank you.
And what I am finding out, but I haven't been on YouTube that long either, though. I only been on YouTube for probably maybe a year and a half, and so I have ran across a lot of content creators that I would say is some type of beef sector or on their soapbox or what have you, and so that's one thing that I don't do. I don't do the drama channels, and so that's what I like about this channel, because it's always informative, and everybody always get along. Even though we might not agree with each other, we still know how to treat each other with respect. So that's why I come out F with y'all.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Well, we came from beef. You know what I mean? So,
well, we didn't know we came from beef. Beef kind of like came upon us, and we was like, "What the hell is this?"
So y'all reformed beefers?
No, we were never about the beef. And the people that we aligned ourselves with said they weren't doing beef, and that didn't age well. And even though we told them that we wasn't with beef, I specifically said I don't do fuck shit to them, and they still went left. And then when they thought that we were supposed to get into things with them, and that's not what I do, that's not what he does, then it went left real quick. Quick.
Hey Vaughn, son, don't that sound familiar with what I went through?
It does, and I got to be honest and say I ain't like Mr. Lounge. I've entered into some stuff on purpose that all backfired against me, and never again will I play with the devil. Because I'm not innocent. I will be honest and say I'm not no big doxer or none of that. You know, if I've been doxed, yeah. You know, did I dox one person? Yeah, on accident, on purpose. But no, I was never. Ask Mr. Lounge, okay? I picked fun and had fun, you know, and I talked crazy.
Vance, that one time was intentional. Come on, hold yourself accountable.
Oh, okay, fine. That one time was intentional. But like I said, I learned my lesson. I never play with the devil again. I ain't talking about no specific person. I'm literally talking about the devil, okay? Because, you know, you dangle that carrot, and it's all fun and games until folks is calling your husband job and calling your granny. It's all fun until it get real. And I ain't doing all that. I ain't calling nobody's husband and nobody's granny. I didn't do none of that. I don't play none of them types of games. That's too real and too, honestly, it's too stupid to me. I'm just keeping real stupid. But just don't play with the devil, ever. Because he gonna come to collect, baby.
Facts.
Well, I find it useless to argue with somebody that you really don't know.
But you'll be amazed.
That too.
You'll be amazed. But E and I were never. What's up with Timo? That's one of our day ones right there. Timo, salute to you, bro. Timo know what time it is. So you'd be surprised, man. Of where E and I came from, because we weren't a part of Effery, we got dissed too. You know what I mean? We got dissed, got talked about. I've said this before, but with the content, the type of content, I've always did the type of content that you see from us now, and so guys used to talk about us and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it's all good. You know what I mean?
Hey, keep it real, SBK. They threw subliminals. They wasn't never names called. It was subliminals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She's right.
They snake oil salesmen. You know what I'm saying? Little slick shit, little slick shots.
Yeah.
Them be the worst ones though.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
Oh yeah. I don't do the passive aggressive. I tell everybody I'm aggressive.
Right.
You got some shit to say to me, say it.
Yeah, we were called. E and
I was told that I wasn't who the hell I was. I was somebody else. I was like, damn, I wake up every day, know who the hell I am. But y'all telling me I'm not who I say I am. Who does that? I'm an imposter.
Immature.
I'm a plant. I'm an industry plant.
Yeah, immature people who don't have a life, who don't have nothing to do. But so I see why SBK be giving us compliments on the content.
I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
I'm being very dead serious because, and y'all, everybody that's listening to me, if y'all got folks that y'all suggest that we, especially me, I'm personally on a personal basis, I am trying to stir my whole mindset away from certain content on social media. I talked to E about this behind the scenes. I don't want any type of negativity. I don't want to follow any type of negativity. And so I see the contents that some of you guys follow, the political content, the news content, you know what I mean? I'm trying to stir away from all of the stuff that I've been accustomed to, because there's no growth in that nonsense at all. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I don't subscribe to none of that negative stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, that's why I'm very, very particular with recommending other content creators. I done got to the point now I'm very particular about sharing content creators' channel on my community wall too, because I know I have subscribers that once when I post it, more than likely people's gonna go over there and check them out. So just like what Von say, I literally do be vetting out people. Sometimes I spend almost like a month just watching people content before I even engage the chat, just to see what they're talking about, and see if they could be, a potential good fit, Then afterwards, that's when I engage and have conversation, dialogue, then eventually hop on panels,
I'm gonna be honest. Miss Lounge don't play, y'all. I got into the last big beef I ever got into. Mr. Lounge, he didn't even give me no chance to explain. He didn't give nobody no chance to explain. He took my wrench, okay? He came in somebody else's chat, fired me in front of everybody. I was upset, y'all. I was so upset. Okay. I never got out of pocket with Mr. Lounge though. Okay. I ain't crazy. He ain't about to analyze, dissect, and reverse me. I ain't crazy now. But he don't play. Okay. And no, he's not with the stuff. I just gotta keep it. He ain't with none of that. Okay. If anything, he'll try to, talk some sense into you, speak life into you. And that's about it. He'd come back around, depending on how far you didn't went. I don't think I ever went so far that he just been done with me. I ain't had that experience. Maybe because I ain't yell at him like I did. Because I yelled at everybody. I was mad at the whole community. Everybody was against me. Mr. Lounge was still in my corner from a distance. But I can honestly say he don't play none of that. Because I experienced it. I got my rich back though. I earned the trust back.
Let's do this real quick. This giveaway. I'm gonna do this real quick. Let's see what we got. Oh snap!
Uh-oh. Timo.
Congratulations, Timo.
Timo.
I said what I said. I just knew your name was going to get called.
No, they would have said it was rigged. I'm glad it didn't.
I would have definitely said it was rigged. I ain't gonna lie.
What you say, Gorilla?
I said I would have definitely said it's rigged. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, because I've won like 3 times in a row. So yeah, I don't.
He said I forfeit for the next person. He said he forfeit for the next person. The next person was Sweet Rita.
Oh snap!
Sweet Rita, you still in the chat?
Pay it forward.
What?
That's what I'm about, Timo.
Pay it forward.
Sour Patch.
Sour Patch. Where we at? I got Sour Patch.
I got it.
I can't call her Sour Patch. She ain't sour to me. That's Sweet Rita. Sweet Rita.
Man, that pay it forward thing is phenomenal, man. For real. I remember I had paid for somebody meal. I think it was either at McDonald's or wherever fast food place I was at, right? I paid for that meal, right? And almost a month later, my wife, she was on grocery shopping, and the person in front of her said that, "Hey, I want to pay for your groceries." And she got like over $200-something worth of groceries.
Did she come with a lot?
Yeah. It's like, I'm pay for your groceries. And she told me about it. I'm like, shoot, that's what I'm talking about, Lord. Come through.
Karma's not only a bad thing. You gonna reap what you sow. And if that's a good seed,
absolutely,
it's coming back to you.
Absolutely.
Oh, is that why
I believe in that wholeheartedly.
That's probably why.
Is that why I'll be always winning?
Yep.
I think so.
Yep.
That's why.
See,
That is
Urban,
why.
I'm a good person, Urban. I tried to tell you that. You're in Lionel.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Where is Lionel?
He just
he's working on this book project right now.
Oh,
okay.
He's focusing on that. Get the rest of his chapters done.
Okay, he working. Okay. I can respect that.
He creating.
But anyways, man, y'all like I said, y'all tune in and we're gonna have some exciting things tomorrow. I plan on going live for a little bit tomorrow. I'm not going live Sunday, but tomorrow evening. Urban, oh yeah, he said he's going live next week. So see y'all tomorrow. So.
Yes. Y'all have fun.
Good night, everybody.
Have fun. Enjoy your weekend. Have a blessed week. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, E.
And get well soon, T-Cat. I know she's probably out, but still.
Oh, yeah, she out. Pillow Princess in the bed. All right. So, what we say? SBK? R.
Gone.